Modify the name of the fruit. All members of the 100 Beasts are Phantom Beasts. Author, Life as Day. Chapter 151. Can the 100 Beasts be rewarded for becoming the world's first? Back to the host. You get some special achievements. You can get rewards. Rewards include, but are not limited to, modification points, demon fruits, and various treasures, from the heavens and the worlds. The system answers mechanically. Suyu fell into contemplation. A special achievement. The 100 Beasts became the world's first pirate regiment is a special achievement. Then he became the strongest man in the world, which is not a special achievement. It should be counted. So why aren't there rewards? Thinking in his heart, Suyu directly inquired about the system. Answering the host, the 100 Beasts regiment defeated the Whitebeard pirate regiment, and it was a foregone conclusion to climb to the top of the strongest. But your strongest man's throne is not yet secure, and since you have not completely defeated Whitebeard, there are still some people on the sea who think that your strength has not yet surpassed Whitebeard. Therefore, I did not get the strongest man achievement reward. Some people have not yet recognized. Suyu smiled lightly. The meaning of the system is very simple, not to let him fight with Whitebeard again, completely defeat Whitebeard, and seize the throne of the strongest man in the world. Rather, it was to secure his position and convince the unbelievers that he had surpassed Whitebeard. Compared with a direct fight with Whitebeard, this matter is easier to achieve. All he has to do is create momentum, publicize his power, and elevate his position in the hearts of the world. The combination of the 100 Beasts pirate regiment and the 10 Blades will surely shock the world, and at the same time, as their leader, Suyu will become more and more mysterious in the eyes of the world, making those who do not believe in him change their minds, believing that he has surpassed Whitebeard. 2 points to modify the value. Who should be modified? Suyu whispered. Flying hex cells? Or leave a spot for Wimble? Brew 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 tilde. The phone bug sounded, and Suyu looked at the phone bug and found that the other party was Giant. Giant, what's the matter? My lord, I have become the 4th General of the Navy, and the order given to me by the warring states is to guard the branches near the Red Clay continent and prevent the pirates from entering the New World. With you guarding, those pirates are going to be unlucky. Suyu shook her head. Giant's per species, the Imperial Fish Queen, exerted extremely terrifying combat power on the sea, easily setting off thousands of meters of waves, enough to destroy any ship, and no pirate ship could withstand the slap of the huge waves. One person can fight a pirate group. When the Golden Lion fought with Roger, he had the advantage and could have taken Roger down. However, unexpectedly encountered a storm. The sea set off a terrible wave. The Golden Lion pirate regiment into the sea. Most of the combat power fell into the sea, becoming the Sea King food. The big wave that led to the defeat of the Golden Lion pirate regiment was only 1,000 meters. Huge waves like that. Giant can be summoned effortlessly. Fight with her at sea. The number does not matter. A huge wave came down, and the pirate ship was engulfed by the sea, and few people could survive. There is only one way to balance Giant, and that is to fight with Giant. Force Giant to fight with all his might, and he has no intention of rolling up the big waves. But there are very few strong people like that on the sea. Those pirates with dreams arrive at the gateway to the New World, only to find that it is guarded by Giant, and they will be deeply saddened. My lord, do you want to make a second plan? Giant asked. Don't worry, I'll head to Fishman Island in a while, and you'll leave at that time to execute the plan. Suyu ordered. Obey orders. The telephone worm connection was cut off. Giant was in the naval branch, surrounded by the navy, and had to be extra careful not to talk to him for a long time. What about Jack? Is it coming? Suyu asked. Someone has been sent to inform Jack. Well, Suyu-jo, my lord, Kategori has called and wants to pick up the Clement in person, Yamato said. Originally, Suyu and Kategori discussed the time, and just when the 100 Beasts regiment and the Whitebeard pirate regiment went to war, Katakukuri came to the Kingdom of Peace to take back the Crocker. Unexpectedly, the Red Hair raided the nations, and Kategori was forced to fight, resulting in a delay in the time to retrieve the crews. We've been raising Cleops for so long, isn't it too much interest? Tell Kategori, I want 100 million Baileys. Suyu waved his hand and said to Yamato, I'll notify Kategori. The modification target in Suyu's mind was one more category. Just a little more modification. The strongest throne in the world. I'm going to fix it. Whoever dares to stop him, kill whom? My lord, Doflamingo said he found the devil fruit you wanted. Yamato said again. Ha ha ha. Yes, there is a lot of good news today. Suyu laughed. Swallow the fruit. A demon fruit with great potential. Developed well, not weaker than the natural system and per species. Can add one more powerful subordinate for him. The 100 Beasts regiment is stationed. Kaido was still drinking. Jack took a big bite of meat with Wimble. Except for Runty and Suyu, the other 4 of them all gathered and sat in chairs waiting for Kaido's next order. Jack, your territory has been divided, and there's nothing you want to say? Phosphor said. The 9-mile region of the Kingdom of Peace was originally under the jurisdiction of Jack, but it was now redistributed by the Sioux Emperor and became the jurisdiction of the 10 Blades. Jack didn't have 9 Mile and should have been angry. Jack glanced at Phosphor and said lightly, just a 9 Mile, what do you want me to say? Cut boring. Phosphor skimmed his lips. Boss Kaido, When will I be a big Kanban? The 100 beasts have rules, and only after defeating the big Kanban can they become the big Kanban. Kaido said, I want to challenge Jack. Without hesitation, Phosphor challenged Jack. Jack's strength was the lowest in the 3 plagues, but Jack's vitality was tenacious. Even if he was stronger than Jack, fighting with him would not be beneficial. What do you say? Are you going to challenge Jack? Wimble jerked to his feet, his little eyes fixed on Phosphor. Chapter 152. So you gave him orders to obey Jack's words. Someone challenged Jack. Isn't that challenging him? That's what the simple-minded Weber thought. Phosphor's brow furrowed, and he knew how strong Wimble was and didn't want to fight this monster. He waved his hand. Don't challenge. You're going to sit down and eat honestly. Wimble did sit down to eat, not doubting whether Phosphor's words were true or false. Whoops, whoops. 2 dragon roars sounded, and Flu stood up violently and looked at the dark clouds in the sky. What's the cry? Who's making the sound? There is a lot of coercion, and the comers are very strong. Mary looked solemn. Panic what? I'm a beast, Kaido. No matter how powerful the guy is, he doesn't dare to catch up with the Kingdom of Peace and fight with me. With a wave of his hand, Kaido brushed aside Phosphor and Sasaki and walked to the front with a wolf's tooth stick. The 2 dragon heads probed into the clouds, and Kaido looked at the 2 dragon heads stunned and wondered. This is where the 2-headed dragon came out. How could he never have heard of each other? Lord Kaido, Boss Kaido. 2 shouts came from the dragon's mouth, shocking Kaido's, who had just calmed down. Again, this is the sound of the embers and plague Quinn. Did they get the dragon species Esper species form? This is the power that Tsuyu has given you? Kaido asked. Although it is a question, it already has an answer. Boss Kaido, I got the dragon fruit Esper species rift seed form. Somewhat similar to your green dragon form. The green dragon said. Kaido's A's were complex. It's true. It's hard to imagine that someone in the world would have such an ability. He could imagine that Tsuyu's Esper species was definitely the top being, perhaps the strongest Esper species demon fruit. He was able to modify the demon fruit ability for others, and he would certainly not treat himself badly. Quinn, what is your Esper species? Dragon fruit Esper species Steel Sea Dragon Beast form. Quinn was very proud. With the power of the Steel Sea Dragon Beast, he wasn't even afraid of the Whitebeard. Even if he can't beat Whitebeard, can't he still hide? He fled into the sea, as strong as a Whitebeard, and his eyes were dry, and there was nothing he could do about it. There are some fishermen in the Whitebeard pirates, and those fishermen are not terrible. They dare to go to the sea, and Quinn dares to kill them. Maria, Sasaki and the other Flying Six were shocked and their eyes widened. What's going on? Isn't the demon fruit of embers the toothless pterosaur form of ancient times? How to become an Esper species? Mary exclaimed. Boss Quinn is a brachiosaur and has also become an Esper species. What the hell is going on? I felt that the 100 beasts were a little strange. Among the Flying Six, only Peggy 1 remained calm. He was the first to follow Tsuyu, and he was not surprised that the embers of fire and Quinn demon fruit had become Esper species. Peggy, do you know anything? Maria noticed that Peggy's face was unchanged and inquired curiously. She had wanted to ask Peggy what was going on with her demon fruit ability. Ancient species become Esper species? Are you kidding? Lord Tsuyu has the ability to modify the demon fruit, and can modify the human demon fruit ability to an Esper species. I was already appreciated by Lord Tsuyu and gave me the power of the Esper species Evil Dragon. Peggy clenched his fists, and the dark demonic chi gathered, forming a summoning array in the palm of his hand. The Falun Gong lit up, and the chains fell from the sky. With all his might, he was able to encircle the entire kingdom of Wazuno, forming a super huge gauge. Sizzle tilde. Mary took a breath of cool air, and her heart set off a terrible wave, extremely shocked. It's incredible. Legend has it that the devil fruit is inhabited by demons, so that the user can have a variety of abilities. Tsuyu was able to modify the demon fruit. Couldn't even the demons stop his ability? It's hard to believe that anyone in the world has such anti-heavenly power. No wonder the 10 blades were so powerful. Presumably they had gained the Esper breeding ability given by Tsuyu. Samuki muttered to himself. Mary's eyes flickered, and she didn't know what she was thinking. At this moment, they all had no intention of challenging the Big Kanban. Big Kanban is fragrant again. Can there be Esper species incense? Having obtained the Esper species ability, why worry about becoming a Big Kanban? Kaido saw what they were thinking and didn't dispel them. He thought he could control the remaining flying hex cells. The stronger the flying hexagon, the stronger the 100 beast regiment, and the happier he was. In the future, this is the foundation of his reversal. At the same time, the idea of asking Tsuyu to modify the demon fruit also arose in his mind. Ordinary demon fruits can be modified to become powerful Esper species. Can he get a stronger form after modifying the demon fruits? However, he had already developed the green dragon fruit very deeply, and he didn't want to give up the green dragon form like this. Don't think about it. I'll help you speak in the future, so that you can also get the Esper species ability. Keep up the party. Celebrate Ember and Quinn getting new abilities. Kaido shouted. Night falls. Mary saw that Kaido was already drunk, and quietly withdrew, heading toward the interior of the Kingdom of Peace. Somewhere in the room, Robin was sorting through the materials and translating the Pluto blueprints. Lord, please spare me. It will be difficult for me to concentrate," Robin pleaded. "This is the test for you," Suyu said with a smile. Chapter 153. The craftsmen who can build ships in the Kingdom of Wano have all been gathered, and the craftsmen of the 100 Beasts Regiment can be mobilized at any time. Only your Pluto design is left, and when you finish translating, start building Pluto immediately," Suyu said to Robin. Robin's skin has not yet turned white, but the bronze skin is also good, and it has a different flavor. "My lord, Pluto is extremely difficult to build, and I suggest you find some more skilled craftsmen," Robin said to Suyu. Suyu rubbed his chin. There are many shipwrights in the pirate world, and there are many famous shipwrights in the New World. The famous shipwrights were very proud, and they could not impress them without giving out a large amount of treasure to help them build ships. Often they have the support of forces behind them, and ordinary pirates can't help them. But these Suyu did not have to think about it. After he gave the order, the 100 Beasts Regiment would be perfectly solved. Do they have the power behind them? In addition to the Navy and other sea emperors in the New World, do they dare to disobey the 100 Beasts? Those forces can scare ordinary pirates, and they can't scare the 100 Beast pirates who cross the sea. The other side. In front of Suyu's room door, Maria knocked on the door. After half a ring, there was no sound coming from the house, and Mary was a little confused. Where did Boss Suyu go? Not at home in the middle of the night. Maria scratched her head, unable to find Suyu. Then her plan was in vain. After thinking about it, Mary made a decision. In the early morning of the next day, Suyu walked out of Robin's room, took the 40 and walked to his residence. "Mary, what are you doing sitting in front of my door?" Suyu was surprised. "Waiting for you to come back." Maria looked at Suyu with some resentment. "Come in." The house was clean, the sun was shining on the ground, and the neat one didn't look like a pirate's room at all, but more like the room of some nobleman. "Mary, what have you come to do?" Suyu sat down in a chair, and Tea-Fi No. 1 brought tea. Taking a sip of tea, Suyu nodded. "Nice tea." Where did this come from? As far as he knew, the tea production in the land of Waso was very low, and the quality of the tea was not good. It wasn't the tea leaves of the Kingdom of Wadari. It must have come from the outside. Jack brought it back. It wasn't surprising that Jack had brought it. Jack loves to drive around a boat. Maria approached Suyu and smiled charmingly. "Lord, I heard that you modified the demon fruit of the big kanban." Suyu suddenly realized that Mary had come for this purpose. He looked at Mary with a smirk. "Yes, I did it." "Lord, can you also give me the ability of the Esper species?" "With the abilities of the Esper species, I can definitely become a big kanban and work better for you," Maria said with a smile. "You can't become a big kanban, and even if I give you the power of the Esper species, you can't become a big kanban." "Why?" "My domineering level is good, and with the strength of the Esper species, it is not a problem to equal Jack Quinn, and even surpass them." "You're talking about Jack Quinn before, you will know that after you get the Esper species, your combat power will increase greatly. Don't you think that Jack's combat strength will also soar?" Today, they all possess the ability of Esper species, and their combat power is no longer what it used to be. Maria's pretty face was tangled. Jack, they were getting stronger again, and her chances of becoming a big kanban were even slimmer. She looked at Suyu and made up her mind. "Ask the adults to give me the Esper species." Hours later, Mary limped away. Jack receives orders from Suyu to expand the Kingdom of Peace. Just as Jack was about to transform into Gallardo, Doflamingo received news. "Jack, the new batch of artificial demon fruits is ready. When will you come to receive them?" Doflamingo's voice came from the mouth of the phone bug. "After a while, I haven't had time to go lately." Jack muffled. The artificial demon fruit is related to the development of 100 beasts, and it has always been Jack himself who has traveled to the territory of Doflamingo to receive the artificial demon fruit. The reason is simple. Jack does not believe in the strength of Flamingo. He went out to sea to raise the pirate flag of the 100 Beasts Regiment, and almost no pirate dared to take the initiative to come up. Doflamingo is different. The 7 Martial Seas are very famous in the first half of the Great Route, and countless pirates are jealous of the 7 Martial Seas. In the second half, the pirates' jealousy of the 7 Martial Seas was much reduced. Some stunned King High thieves dared to attack Doflamingo's ship. If the artificial demon fruit is accidentally stolen by other pirates, the speed of the 100 beasts will decrease. On the other side, Doflamingo was surprised. It was the first time Jack had said that to him. In the past, no matter how much Jack had to do, he would not hesitate to receive the artificial demon fruit. Thinking of the news in the newspaper about the upheaval within the 100 beasts, Doflamingo's heart tightened. The young man with whom he had done business had already come to the great voyage of King's Landing. Even the Emperor of the Seas became his subordinates, and the pirate regiment under his command was the first in the world. It seems that he promised me that he would save me once if he found the demon fruit he wanted. Doflamingo suddenly remembered Suyu's words. Foo-fa-fur-fa, things get interesting. The sea has become more chaotic. Who is the winner of this era? What an exciting sight. Doflamingo smiled wildly. I sent it myself. No, the old assembly will go through it himself. Jack said. Boss? Doflamingo chuckled in his heart. Which boss? Kaido, or Suyu? Without waiting for Doflamingo to ask, Jack cut off the phone bug. Roar. The roar of the overlord of the land reverberated over the land of peace, and the hundreds of meters of giant beasts terrified countless residents, and the pirates of the 100 Beasts Regiment were also frightened. Regardless of the power, this power has surpassed countless people. Is this Boss Jack? Just kidding. How could Boss Jack have such great power? One of the pirates said in a dazed syllable. The pirate in the back slapped the front pirate on the back of the head, almost killing the pirate. What are you beating me for? I suspect I'm in a dream. Dream? Have you ever had such a real dream? Then how do you explain Boss Jack's demon fruit abilities? This is clearly not the ability of Jack Boss. Maybe Boss Jack hid his strength before. Hide a fart. Is it necessary for Boss Jack to hide his strength? He is the number 4 of the 100 Beasts. The pirates of the 100 Beasts were talking about it, and they were very curious about when Jack had gained this power. The inhabitants of the land of Wano looked at Gulado with a complicated face. Such a beast. It's not something that humans can deal with at all. Will they still resist? In the crowd, Mad Death Lang was horrified. Even Kaido's men are so powerful. Do we really have a chance to defeat Kaido? Kaido has become someone else's subordinate. Even if Mita is resurrected, there is no chance of victory. With the help of the Peach Lord, can he defeat the 100 Beast Pirate Regiment and the 10 Blades? Death Lang was desperate, powerless to fill his mind. They don't have a chance. Earlier, he learned that the black charcoal Great Snake was caught by the 10 Blades and imprisoned, and he was not happy, nor did he go to save the black carbon Great Snake. Instead, he fell directly in front of the 10 Blades and became a subordinate of one of the sword-wielding samurai in the 10 Blades. He became a subordinate of the black charcoal serpent in order to accumulate strength and find opportunities to defeat the 100 Beasts and retake the Kingdom of Peace. The black charcoal Great Snake fell and became a prisoner of the Order, and he naturally would not continue to help the black carbon Great Snake. For him, there was no difference between becoming a black charcoal serpent and becoming a 10-bladed man. Xiaozi sat on the edge of the window of the flower building, staring blankly at the sky. Jack incarnated as Gulado began to create land, and the great power made countless pirates exclaim. Destruction is easy, creation is hard. The pirates know this too. When they saw Jack create the land, their eyes widened and their hearts were shocked. Boss Jack is so good. It's creating land. Why did you create land? I heard that Boss Suyu wanted to create a new continent and expand his territory. The corners of the pirates' mouths twitched, and the other pirates expanded their territory by going to the sea to find islands and plant the flag of the sea thieves. Boss Suyu did not take the usual path. In one day, the Kingdom of Peace was a big circle. For days in a row, Jack did not rest, frantically creating land. The problem that the territory became larger and the 100 Beast Regiment's station was too small was easily solved. With the support of Suyu, the area of the 100 Beasts Regiment's garrison has been expanded by hundreds of times, and the expanded area has exceeded the area of Ghost Island by a lot. The 100 Beasts built their stations vigorously, and every day there were new changes. At the same time, Suyu set sail with some of the 10 Blades and Nami to Doflamingo's territory. Lord, accept the artificial demon fruit and leave it to someone else. You don't need to run it yourself. Tifa One said. Suyu waved his hand. He wasn't just making demon fruits this time. His real target was the little girl who liked to eat grapes. Chapter 154. Sugar. Childlike fruit ability. You can turn people you touch into toys. People who are related to the target of the toy, such as brothers, sisters, parents, etc., will lose the memory of the object that became the toy, not the ability to relate to rules. Its true regularity. No matter how powerful it is, it cannot resist the power of rules. If the son of the red dog is turned into a toy by sugar, the red dog will also lose the memory of his son. This is a rule ability that cannot be changed, as strong as a naval admiral, and the Emperor of the Sea cannot affect the rules. It would be a pity that such a talent remained under Doflamingo. Without modifying the devil fruit of sugar, it is difficult to make sugar loyal. After modifying the devil fruit of sugar, it will lose the childlike fruit, and the value of sugar will be greatly reduced. Suyu thought in his heart. What he wants is sugar with the ability to make children fruit. Not just granulated sugar. Sugar's own basic ability is not strong, and the basic ability of the 100 Beasts group is stronger than that of sugar. One can only hope that the system can give him something that can make sugar loyal. The strongest man's success can be achieved in less than 2 months. He can also get the corresponding system reward. In addition to the system this road, there is also the Blackbeard road. Blackbeard had the ability to plunder the demon fruit, and Suyu had suspected that that ability came from the dark fruit, or it could be a secret ability that Blackbeard had mastered. Either way, if Blackbeard can control it, he will be able to control it from the dark fruit, then grab the dark fruit. It's Blackbeard's secret ability, so let Blackbeard surrender this power, or subdue Blackbeard. Suyu stood at the bow of the ship, looking out at the sea. This sea, it is time to calm down for a while. Dressrosa. Doflamingo led a group of carders waiting on the shore. Dover, who's coming? Let's all greet us together. Tuapol asked. Fufafurfa, and this time it's a big man. Doflamingo said with a smile. Terepol thought for a moment, his pupils narrowing sharply, and he looked at Doflamingo in surprise. Could it be the new strongest in the world? That's right, It's him, 16 years old, to reach the top of the world's strongest man. A man who has been called a demon by countless people. Doflamingo spread his hands. This is our partner. But isn't it too dangerous to cooperate with such a monster? The cadres of Don Quixote were a little worried, and cooperated with the 100 Beasts pirate regiment in advance, and they were very worried that the 100 Beasts regiment would take the goods and not give money. After all, the 100 Beasts regiment is a pure pirate regiment, unlike the Don Quixote pirate regiment. What does pure pirate stand for? Plunder, treachery, atrocious, unreasonable. The pirates only recognize fists and do not recognize people, and the 100 Beasts are stronger than the Don Quixote family, directly snatching their goods, and they have no way to do anything. Doflamingo waved his hand. Don't underestimate Kaidos. That guy is not a simple-minded pirate. As long as we can always provide artificial demon fruits for the 100 Beasts, then Kaido will not do anything to us. The same is true of Tsuyu, who is more ambitious than Kaido, and needs to strengthen his strength more, and will not easily give up our artificial demon fruit. On the surface of the sea, a huge pirate ship slowly emerged. Dover, I haven't seen you in a long time. Furfa, long time no see. What you want is ready. Doflamingo pointed to the box behind him. Tsuyu scanned around and found no sign of Sugar. However, it is also normal. Sugar has a special identity, and Doflamingo will not easily expose granulated sugar. Dover, in addition to these things, I also need shipwrights, a lot of shipwrights, and the more the better. Carpenter? Doflamingo could not guess what Tsuyu wanted to do. It was reasonable to say that Tsuyu had become the lord of the 100 Beasts regiment, and there was no shortage of shipwrights under him. I need time. Doflamingo said. I'll give you a month, and I hope you can surprise me the next time I come. Tsuyu looked deeply at Doflamingo. Just as Tsuyu was talking to Doflamingo, Luke had infiltrated Dressrosa, who was born in CP0 and was very good at lurking intrusions, easily avoiding the soldiers and going deeper into Dressrosa. Not even Doflamingo was aware that someone had infiltrated Dressrosa. As Blackwing approached Dressrosa, Lucy took the lead from underwater and reached Dressrosa first. In one room, Sugar was leisurely eating grapes. She wore a small white flecked skirt and a cape with a red bear's head and a crown on her head. The harmless appearance of humans and animals. No one could have imagined that such a cute little girl would turn more than half of Dressrosa's residents into toys. Today's grapes are very sweet. Go wash me a little, Sugar said to a bear toy. Bear toy is very reluctant, but there is no way to resist Sugar. Boom. The gate was broken, and Sugar and Bear Toys were startled and turned their heads hurriedly to look at the gate. Who are you? How did you get here? Sugar was surprised and questioned loudly. Lucci looked at the granulated Sugar, and after a moment nodded. That's right, it's you. What do you mean? Sugar is secretly ready to turn him into a toy when Lucci is not ready. Pedal to pedal tilde. Luke walked over to Sugar. Take you to a new place. When the distance between the two was only 3 meters, Sugar rushed out, and the small hand slapped Lucci. No matter how strong a person is, as long as she touches it, it must become a toy. Even if you are strong, you can't be afraid after you turn into a toy. Damn guy. Bang. Lucci quickly flashed behind Sugar, instantly subdued Sugar, and then locked Sugar's hands with an iron chain to prevent her from moving. Let go of me. What the hell are you guys trying to do? Let go of me, Sugar yelled. Shut up. Talk again, I killed you, Luke whispered. Sugar was startled, and the resistance weakened a lot. Luke wrapped his hands around the armor, avoiding Sugar's hands, and managed to put iron gloves on Sugar's hands. Not Halo stone gloves, just iron gloves to prevent being sneaked by Sugar. Sugar's heart is not good, and Lucci's series of operations are obviously aware of her demon fruit ability. Lucci will not kill her, he will definitely take her away. Thinking of this, Sugar opened its mouth to shout. Luke's eyes were fast, and he took out a lump of cloth and stuffed it into Sugar's mouth to prevent her from making a sound. Shut up. Attracting Doflamingo will not save you, and even the entire Don Quixote family will be destroyed. Lucci condensed. He's not cheating on granulated sugar. With Tsuyu's character, he would really do such a thing. Chapter 156. Doflamingo knew many secrets of the world government, even the secrets of the Draco. This vein of his should have been a Draco, and his status was extremely noble. His father, Don Quixote Homingo, believed that Draco and ordinary people were human beings. Without consulting with others, he directly announced that he gave up his privilege of being a Draco, broke away from the Draco group, and became an ordinary person. Leaving the Holy Land, Mary Joya with a family of 4, she lived an ordinary life. Unfortunately, Gushing miscalculated the hearts of the people, and those who had been persecuted by the Tanlong people spilled their resentment on their family of 4. Gushing was forced to be helpless and asked Mary Joya's Draco to help them. The Draco people regarded their family as a heretic and were reluctant to help, seeing them as outliers. After that, the family lived a life of poverty, and the 10-year-old Doflamingo thought that all this was wrong with the stupidity of Gushing, and raised his gun to kill his father Gushing. Doflamingo returns to Mary Joya with the head of Homingo, hoping to become a Draco again. However, the Draco people believe that he is a member of the Betrayer clan and are reluctant to accept him. Humiliated Doflamingo angrily leaves Mary Joya, vowing to turn the world upside down. These are the secrets hidden in the heart of Doflamingo. He knows how strong CP0's penetration ability is. All over the world, there are CP organizations. As the most elite CP0 in CP organizations, it is not difficult to sneak into the palace and take away sugar. When Doflamingo thought that it was done by the Draco, he was very angry, and his forehead burst out. Wait. I'm sure you'll regret it. Dover, could it be Suyu doing it? As soon as he arrived, the granulated sugar was hijacked. It is also possible, but he has just become the leader of the 100 Beasts Regiment, and coupled with the fact that the intelligence ability of the 100 Beasts Regiment is not strong, it is most likely that he will not know about the existence of sugar. Doflamingo also suspected Suyu. However, they think that the other party is unlikely to do it. The intelligence capabilities of the 100 Beasts Regiment were a mess, and they were inferior to them. Doflamingo remembered that the world government seemed to have found the whereabouts of the legendary pure gold. Fura Furfuran world government. Accept my gift to you. Doflamingo laughed wildly. 10,000 meters under the sea. Fishman Island. Blackwing approached Fishman Island, and the people on board showed surprised expressions. So pretty. This is where the legendary fish people live. Runyuan's big eyes stared at Fishman Island without blinking. She grew up in the 100 Beasts Regiment and rarely came out of the country or peace. This was her first visit to Fishman Island. Hinata and Nami also enjoyed the scenery of Fishman Island. It is worthy of the Fishman Island with the name of a dream paradise, and it is really beautiful and dreamlike. Stayed here all the time and was definitely in a good mood. Hinata sighed. Nami nodded continuously. She had been following Suyu for a while. Her body had grown a lot, and she had seen a lot of scenery on the sea, but it was the first time she had seen such a beautiful scenery on Fishman Island. Nami hugged Suyu's arm. Lord, we will also build a Fishman Island. When your palace is good. The corners of Suyu's mouth twitched, and Nami really dared to say it. Building Fishman Island at the bottom of the sea? Time-consuming and laborious, not much benefit yet. Fishman Island to 10,000 meters below the sea, providing Fishman Island with a very advantageous location, avoiding a large number of enemy invasions. Not everyone can go down to the bottom of the sea for 10,000 meters. After all, the people who can get to Fishman Island are a minority. Otherwise, if every fish person can sell at a high price in the auction house, the fish people will have been hunted by humans long ago. No matter where or in which world, as long as the interests are large enough, there will be a large number of human beings to do it. The situation in Wanoku is different from that of Fishman Island. The 100 Beasts Regiment town was guarding the country of peace, and not many forces dare to provoke. If you provoke other forces, you may survive. If you provoke the Emperor of the Sea, you will undoubtedly die. Suyu flicked Nami's forehead. Don't think about it. It's impossible. Nami muttered, very puzzled. Building a city at the bottom of the sea doesn't do us any good, but we can take Fishman Island and turn it into our own territory, Suyu said with a smile. When Nami listened to the first half of the sentence, she was very disappointed. After listening to the second half of the sentence, I was overjoyed. Really? Of course it's true. There are people I want on Fishman Island, and I can't give it to others, so occupying this place is the best choice. Jiaji took a step forward and whispered, My lord, Fishman Island is currently occupied by the Whitebeard Pirate Regiment, and the flag of the Whitebeard Pirate Regiment is planted on it. Everyone looked around, and sure enough, they found a white-bearded pirate flag on the edge of Fishman Island. According to the rules of the pirates, wherever the sea thieves' flag is planted, that place belongs to its pirate regiment for protection. If other pirates want to grab, or rush to attack, they are challenging their pirate regiments. Suyu waved his hand and said calmly, Not long ago, the Whitebeard Pirate Regiment just lost to us. They deserve to compensate us for something, and I think this Fishman Island is good. Jiaji was stunned and didn't say anything. With the strength of the 100 Beasts Regiment, the Whitebeard Pirate Regiment would only touch a nose of blood when it came. The pirates aboard the Blackwing laughed. Ha ha ha. Whitebeard knew that Fishman Island was occupied by us, and he would definitely be angry and vomit blood. There are a lot of treasures in Fishman Island. In the whole world, only Boss Suyu can do this to Whitebeard. Hey, if the Whitebeard pirates don't obey, they must give their colors to see. Let them know that the 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment is the strongest pirate regiment in the world. It's not the time of the Whitebeard pirates anymore. It's time for their time to end. The pirates shouted, and the 10 blades that accompanied them shrugged their shoulders, which could not be denied. Enter Fishman Island, Suyu ordered. Chapter 157. The Fishman Palace. Several fishermen broke into the palace and shouted in horror to King Neptune, Your Majesty the King. Big deal. There are pirates coming. Neptune heard the solemn expression and whispered, Panic. We often have pirates coming here. What are you so nervous about? No, not an ordinary pirate. Be the Emperor of the Seas. When the fisherman soldier finished speaking, Neptune was horrified. Emperor of the Seas? Neptune secretly felt bad. Who's coming? Is it Whitebeard? If Whitebeard is coming, then don't be nervous. The Whitebeard pirates are very friendly to Fishman Island, and the Sea Hero Isles has a very good personal relationship with Whitebeard. No looting of Fishman Island. Not the Whitebeard pirates. It's the 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment. Neptune chuckled and felt bad. This time it was the new strongest pirate regiment. Your Majesty, don't panic. Maybe the 100 Beasts pirate regiment didn't come to Fishman Island to plunder, Prince Yachi said comfortingly. Neptune shook his head, his voice heavy and serious. Not long ago, the Whitebeard pirate regiment and the 100 Beast pirate regiment went to war, and the 100 Beast pirate regiment defeated the Whitebeard pirate regiment due to its internal problems. As a result, the 100 Beasts pirate regiment did not take the opportunity to seize the territory of the Whitebeard pirate regiment, and I suspect that this time the 100 Beast pirates regiment came to grab the territory. In addition to Neptune and Ottoheim in the palace, the sea hero Shihai was also there. After listening to Neptune's words, the seaman stood up. Please also ask your majesty to be careful. I have personally gone to the Whitebeard pirate regiment to inquire about information. The strength of the 100 Beasts pirate regiment soared this time. The Void Wings and Kaido both had the strength of the Sea Emperor, and the power of a group of 2 emperors laid the strongest throne of the 100 Beast pirate regiment. The Whitebeard pirates were injured and would not fight for a short time. Neptune understood the meaning of the very plain words. The Whitebeard pirates will not go to war with the 100 Beast pirates for Fishman Island, so that he will not anger the people of the 100 Beasts pirates. Otherwise, Fishman Island will suffer. Neptune was bitter and had no choice but to meet the 100 Beast pirates. On Fishman Island, Tsuyu was hanging out with Fortifa, Nami, Hinata, Runyuan, and Jiaji, left behind by Luke and a group of pirates to guard the Blackwing and Sugar. He left Yamato, Ryoma, and other 10 blades in the town of Wanaku to prevent forces from sneaking into his lair. Dragon Horse's strength is not weaker than Kaido's, plus the other 10 blades and 100 Beast pirate regiments. Even if the 2 Sea Emperors join forces to invade, they will definitely not be able to break through the Kingdom of Peace. The Sea Emperor alone came, and without the 10 blades, the 100 Beasts could now defeat the enemy. The 3 plagues of the 100 Beast regiment all received the ability of the Esper species, and their strength was greatly increased, and the powerful Wei Bull joined. Mary also got the Esper species ability, and that day she suffered a lot before she went back satisfied, very satisfied with her Esper species ability. Neptune led a group of fisherman soldiers to arrive, and all the fisherman soldiers waited in a tight line, staring at Tsuyu, ready to fight at any time. The daimyo of Tsuyu has been introduced to Fishman Island. They all know they're facing the world's strongest man. Destroy the people of Fishman Island with one word. King Neptune of Fishman Island welcomes Mr. Tsuyu to Fishman Island. Neptune's voice was peaceful. Tsuyu saw Neptune's look and couldn't help but smile. This is the advantage of being strong. People are afraid of you and don't dare to be too arrogant. Even a king of a country must put down his body to greet him. Fishman Island is very nice. Thank you very much for your praise. Neptune sighed in his heart, and it was indeed coming to Fishman Island. Now, I can only take one step at a time. I hope Tsuyu does not make too many demands. Tsuyu looked at the fishman beside Neptune. Neptune saw that Tsuyu did not look at himself, but looked to the left, and suddenly felt bad. Beside him is Empress Ottoheim. Could it be that Tsuyu had a crush on his empress? Neptune's face was ugly, and if that was the case, how could he be good? Hand over Ottoheim? That's his queen. After one country, how can it be handed over to someone else? After handing it over, where does his face go? Don't pay? When should Tsuyu get angry and destroy the entire Fishman Island? There are millions of fish people on Fishman Island. Neptune was tormented and struggled. Tsuyu didn't know that Neptune had thought so much. He saw that Yija was mainly thinking about how Yija, who was more than 2 meters tall, gave birth to a white star more than 10 meters high. When you are pregnant with a white star, will your stomach not burst? Yija was stared at by Tsuyu a little uncomfortable, fidgeting. Mr. Tsuyu, you, Queen Ottoheim, how did you give birth to the white star in the first place? Tsuyu asked. If you can't figure it out, just ask. Anyway, Ottomi didn't dare to lie to herself. Ottoheim was stunned, her body relaxed, and she exhaled a long breath. It turned out that he was staring at himself and wanted to ask this. Fish people had asked her the same question before. Neptune was also overjoyed, and the heart that lifted it was put down. Mr. Tsuyu, when Baixing was first born, he was not big, no different from ordinary fish people, and then he slowly became so big. Ottoheim said truthfully. Tsuyu suddenly realized and nodded. That's the way it is. I have come this time, and I have a request, and I hope that King Neptune will be able to grant me. Please say, white star. I want white stars. Chapter 158. Neptune and Ottoheim were all silent, and their pupils shrank into needles. The white star had been trapped in the hard shell tower for years. Why did Tsuyu suddenly ask for the white star? Could it be that legend? The beauty of the white star has been praised by the world, and it is known as the unique beauty that is not weaker than the pirate female emperor. Because of this legend, many human hunters want to capture the white star and sell it for a good price. The value of ordinary fish people slaves is very high, and the value of the famous fish people princess is naturally higher. Tsuyu looked calm, as if he didn't care that Neptune would reject him. It is also true that Neptune is not qualified to reject him. The sea is respected by strength, and his strength is stronger than that of Fishman Island, so Fishman Island must obey his orders. He did not bring many people, but his strength was not weak. His ability to knock down Whitebeard proves that his strength is already very strong, and there are few people who can compare. The accompanying subordinates also have the combat power at the top of the sea. The Navy is coming, and it can't get any benefits in the hands of the extra plan. I'll give you time to think, Suyu said lightly. The more prosaic Suyu's performance, the more nervous Neptune became. What does blindness mean? It means that Suyu has absolute certainty of slaughtering Fishman Island. Mr. Suyu, Baixing is my daughter, please spare her. Ottoheim said in an almost pleading tone. I won't hurt White Star, and after following me, White Star can get more. What you can give to the White Star, I can give. You can't give the White Star, I can give too. Suyu's eyes were firm, and Poseidon, the Sea King of ancient weapons, absolutely could not let go. Because the top of the Dracoim is likely to possess the legendary Ancient Weapon King. Ancient weapons are all weapons of war and can determine the direction of a war. Pluto's battleship can destroy islands with a single shot, and islands such as Fishman Island will turn into fly ash with just one blow. Poseidon can summon the superlarge Neptune to help. The sea is the realm of humans, and under the sea is the realm of the superlarge Neptune. The superlarge Neptune class has no fancy abilities, only the superpower brought by the giant body, which is enough to destroy all buildings. What the Heavenly King's ability was, Suyu didn't know either. The most mysterious ancient weapon, the ability of the Heavenly King is only stronger than the Pluto King and the Sea King, not weak. Neptune's A's were complex, and they all felt the firmness in Suyu's words. Reject Suyu? That will anger the other side. The other side is in control of the 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment. The 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment has arrived. Where will the 5 million fishermen on Fishman Island go? Neptune was powerless, and it wasn't the first time he'd felt such powerlessness. Every time he felt it, he was very uncomfortable. The power is not as good as man, and the taste of fate being controlled by people is really too uncomfortable. If only the fisherman had a strong man like the Emperor of the Seas. Neptune glanced behind him. There were very few high-end strong people in the fisherman, and the seaman Washik was one of them. After Shiping became the 7 Martial Seas, he won a lot of living space for Fishman Island. Neptune took a deep breath, looked solemn, and said slowly, Mr. Suyu, I will not hand over my daughter to you. This is my bottom line as a father. Haexiak Siping took a step forward and looked directly at Suyu. Also ask Mr. Suyu to let go of the White Star and let go of the Fishman Island. There will be something in the future. The old man will not resign. Hey, 7 Martial Seas, we haven't seen each other for a long time, Jiaji said with a smile. At this time, Haexiak Siping noticed the extra plan behind Suyu, and his eyes widened. Very surprised. Lieutenant General T. Dolphin. How are you? Why did you follow Mr. Suyu? Obviously, I have left the Navy and joined the 10 Blades under Lord Suyu. Shiping couldn't believe it and was stunned for more than 10 seconds. Jiaj is an alternate admiral of the Navy, with a high position of authority, and then he can become a naval admiral and claim to be the strongest combat force. Why did you betray the Navy? What exactly was in Suyu's hand that could attract the extra? This. Incredibly, the last time I met Vice Admiral T. Dolphin was at the naval headquarters. Shiping sighed. After he was conscripted into the 7 Martial Seas, he went to the naval headquarters once and met the T. Dolphin. At that time, the T. Dolphin was already an alternate admiral in the Navy, and in addition to the inability to launch the slaying order, the other powers of the alternate admiral were similar to those of the admiral. The admiral is on the Navy, and there will be 3 lieutenant generals at his side, and the field is very large. Shiping. How boring it is to do the 7 Martial Seas. Why not join us? Quietly tell you that there is still a vacancy in the position of the 10 Blades, and if you come, it is possible to become a 10 Blades. Jiaji smiled and said to Xiping. Shiping was a little speechless, which was quietly telling me that everyone present had heard it well or not. What are the 10 Blades? The power under Lord Suyu's command is equal to that of 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment. Each member is an elite combatant, only 10 people, although the number is small, but the strength is not weaker than the 100 Beast Pirate Regiment. How about, are there any interests? A terrifying wave was set off in Shiping's heart, and he looked at Suyu in shock. Level with the 100 Beast Pirates? Is the 10 Blades really so powerful? The 100 Beast Pirate Regiment is the strongest pirate regiment in the world. The limelight is in full swing. If the 10 Blades could match it, wouldn't it mean that Suyu had mastered the combat power of the 200 Beast Pirate Regiments? Xiping smiled bitterly. It turned out that he might have become a 10-bladed sentence just now without lying. The 10 Blades were so powerful, he could really become. There is no absolute certainty of being one of them. Shiping shook his head and refused to add, sorry, I'm already a 7 Martial Sea and can't join the 10 Blades. The world government can't protect the Fishman Island, or the world government has never thought of protecting the world government. Otherwise, Fishman Island would not have to beg for the protection of the Whitebeard pirates. Suyu flashed to Shiping's side and patted Xiping's shoulder. Sometimes, you have to make some trade-offs to have a better future. Shiping's body was stiff. His muscles were tense, and his back was in cold sweat. Chapter 159. Fast. Too fast. Obviously it was at the bottom of the sea. Why was Suyu's speed so fast? It's so fast that he can't react in time. He could see Suyu's movement trajectory, but his body could not keep up with his eyes. Suyu saw this look, smiled, turned to Neptune and said, In the future, Fishman Island belongs to the 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment, and you will be blessed by the 100 Beast Pirate Regiment. But every year, you need to present the corresponding treasure to the 100 Beast Pirates. In view of the existence of the White Star, you do not have to pay for the first 3 years, and you can hand in 100 million Baileys every year. Fishermen on Fishman Island can join the 100 Beasts Pirates, and the more you join, the less treasure you will turn in. The conditions he gave were pretty good. The other kingdoms occupied by the 100 beasts had to hand over 300 million Baileys or more every year, depending on the size of the country. The Baileys handed in each year are also different. There are 5 million fish people on Fishman Island, there are many fish mouths, only 100 million Baileys, and the pressure on Fishman Island is not too much. This is the existence of the White Star. Suyukai gave fish people such favorable conditions. In other words, Suyu would not give such good conditions. Neptune was somewhat moved, and the conditions given by Suyu were in line with his inner bottom line. The 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment is in full swing, and there are 100 Beasts Pirates who are shocked. Presumably those pirates do not dare to easily come to Fishman Island to make trouble. It's just that this 100 million Baileys make him a little embarrassed. Fishman Island seems to be prosperous, but in fact, Fishman Island is not connected to the outside world, and everything is internal circulation and internal digestion. There are very few people who come to Fishman Island to do business, and most of them are small fights. It's a little difficult to turn in 100 million Baileys a year. Let the fishermen of Fishman Island join the 100 Beasts Pirates. This will reduce the number of Baileys to turn in, but are those fishermen really willing to join the 100 Beast Pirates? Neptune pondered, and Suyu saw his concern. In the future, Fishman Island can connect with the outside world normally and promote trade, and 100 million Baileys is not much for Fishman Island. Suyu said casually, Lord Suyu, it is too dangerous to connect with the outside world. There are many hunters among humans. Once connected, the fish people on Fishman Island will suffer. Neptune said hurriedly. At this time, his title of Suyu had changed from Sir to Adult. Fishman Island can first trade with the Kingdom of Peace. If the Whitebeard pirates are angry, Whisperon whispered. Don't worry. The Whitebeard Pirate Regiment is naturally dealt with by the 100 Beast Pirate Regiment. Shi Ping stood aside, helpless in his heart. He managed to find Whitebeard as a patron for Fishman Island. As a result, Fishman Island has attracted a presence more terrifying than Whitebeard. The fate of Fishman Island is really bumpy. Suddenly, a long sword flew over Suyu's head. Neptune was furious. Damn Van der Decken 9. Not again. The guy who has been bothering White Stars? Do adults know Van der Decken 9? Know something. Suyu waved his hand. Call Batman. Tifa 1 nodded and quickly rushed towards Blackwing. Her speed made Shi Ping's eyes light up. Even a servant has such strength. Suyu is terrible. Batman quickly followed Tifa 1. Lord, are you looking for me? Find me a guy named Van der Decken 9, and I'll give you a daytime. Can you do it? Rest assured, adults, you will complete the task perfectly. Batman confidently agreed. He can distinguish directions and people by sound, and his hands and feet are faster, and it is very likely that Van der Decken 9 will be pulled out. Batman leads a team of pirates in search of Van der Decken 9. Batman's strength is not too strong, not as strong as the Flying 6 Cells and the 3 Plagues and 10 Blades, but he is very clever and does things very well with Suyu's wishes. There was some arrogance on the outside, but it was not a shortcoming in Suyu's eyes. Pirates are not arrogant. Is that still called pirates? Pirates are a bunch of outlaws, and it's normal to be emotionally grumpy. Half an hour later, Suyu walked into the hardshell tower. Neptune and Ottoham watched his back from behind. Somewhat worried, Ottoji grabbed Neptune's hand. Your Majesty, is this good? Rest assured, he won't hurt White Star. He's here for the White Star. If his purpose was to hurt the White Star, there was no need to discuss it with us. With a group of his men, he was able to flatten the Fishman Island. Neptune shook his head at Ottoham, and there was worry in his eyes. Afraid that Suyu would scare the timid White Star. Inside the hardshell tower, it was pitch black, and ordinary people came in and couldn't see clearly what was 2 meters ahead. Suyu had already obtained the ability of night vision after obtaining the Blackwing Great Demon Fruit ability. The night was no different from the day in his eyes. Ahead, there lay a huge fisherman girl with long wavy light pink hair, a red fishtail, and a delicate and beautiful face. Mermaid Princess, Poseidon the Sea King, White Star. Suyu looked at Bai Xing's face and moved downward after a large number of moments. Nodded with satisfaction. Excellent mattress. In the future, he will be able to lie on a super mattress every day. As for whether he had any interest in Princess White Star, that's definitely interesting. However, Princess Bai Xing was about 12 meters tall, and her body was too big, and even if he had ideas, he did not have the ability to use his hands. You can't always stare at the sea with branches, right? Who? Bai Xing woke up, opened his big aqua blue eyes, and cried out in horror. White Star, who are you? Why break in? Bai Xing shrank back and carefully looked at Suyu. It's really timid. Suyu said. I'm not timid, Bai Xing said with grievance, and the small face almost wrote the 2 words of my fear. White Star, want to go out? Get out of this hardshell tower, go outside, Go to the sea. Suyu knew that Baixing very much wanted to live on the ground, and using this trick to attract Baixing could definitely succeed. After Baixing listened, he was a little moved. Really? Does my father agree? Chapter 160. Of course I agreed, and your father specifically asked me to take you out of the hard-shell tower and live on the sea, Suyu said with a smile. Baixing's big eyes sparkled, and he stared at Suyu with great excitement. An hour later, Suyu walked out of the hard-shell tower with a white star. After an hour of communication, Baixing already believed his words and seemed very dependent on him. Baixing is timid, loves to cry, hides in the hard-shell tower for many years, and longs deep in her heart for someone to care for her. Suyu's appearance met her inner needs. Neptune saw Baixing smile and follow Suyu out of the hard-shell tower, and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, saying not to worry about white stars. That's false. Baixing was his daughter, and unless he had to, he would not agree to Suyu's conditions. Suyu also allowed him to visit Baixing, which was already a lot of tolerance. In other words, other sea thieves, not as good as Suyu. For pirates, looting is the norm. Father, Queen Mother. White Star saw Neptune and Ottoham, smiled, and flew towards Ottoham. Ottoham comforts Baixing and talks to Baixing, laughing from time to time. Neptune walked up to Suyu and whispered, "Do you already know something?" Suyu glanced at Neptune faintly. "What do you know? Is the White Star a Neptune thing?" Neptune looked like this. He didn't guess wrong. Suyu really knew. When he listened to the favorable conditions given by Suyu, he vaguely guessed that Suyu knew the true identity of Bai Crossing. Just for a beautiful fish princess, it is not worth Suyu to make such a big concession. While there is some self-contempt, it is true. No matter how beautiful the fisherman princess is, there is no corresponding strength, and it is only a strong toy, and there is no ability to resist. In the case that Fisherman Island could not protect the fisherman princess, Suyu also gave such conditions. There must be a big Mewtwo. The biggest and highest value on Fisherman Island is undoubtedly the legendary ancient weapon, Poseidon the Sea King. Suyu wants to control the White Star. To be precise, it is the control of the ancient weapon Neptune Poseidon. Poseidon's power is very strong, but he is not invincible. Please use it carefully. Neptune said complexly. I know. I need the power of the White Star, but I don't see the White Star as a symbol of invincibility. Ancient weapons are weapons after all, not their own strength. No matter how strong they are not invincible. Suyu shook her head. If the power of the White Star was really invincible, Neptune would not let the White Star go with him, just let the White Star drive them away. At present, the White Star has not yet mastered this power, and only when the mood fluctuates violently, it will instinctively use the ability to summon the super-large Neptune. Unstable capabilities, too limited. It will take a long time for White Star to fully grasp this power. Even if the White Star had mastered the ability to summon the super-large Neptune class, it was not invincible, and there were Pluto warships and kings who could match it. Neptune was relieved, and after learning that Suyu wanted the power of the White Star, not the White Star himself, he did not have to worry about the safety of the White Star. Suyu wanted to use this power, and it would certainly not be bad for the White Star. The flying knife strikes, and the target is the White Star. No. Damn Van der Decken 9. Neptune's eyes were bloodshot and he cried out in anger. Don't. Ottoham wants to block this sword for Bai Crossing. She was too slow to help Bai Crossing. White Star's tears of fear snapped and fell. Suyu's eyes froze, and he flashed to grab the flying knife. Lord Suyu, your hand. White Star shouted worriedly. That Batman guy is such a piece of crap. Haven't he caught Van der Decken 9 yet? Suyu whispered. Neptune and Ottoham swallowed and hurriedly said, Lord Suyu, you are not injured. Suyu waved his hand. This level of attack can't hurt me. With the force of his arm, the flying knife deformed in his hand and gradually turned into an iron ball. Give it to you, as a toy. Suyu gently threw the iron ball to Bai Crossing. A flying knife was squeezed by Suyushing into an iron ball the size of a grape. Baixing happily took the iron ball and carefully stored it. This is the first thing that an adult gave me, and I will definitely collect it. White Star thought beautifully. Neptune was thinking about how strong Suyu's physical strength was, and single-handedly squeezed such a large flying knife into an iron ball, which was stronger than countless fish people. You must know that the wrist strength of the fishman is 10 times that of the human being. If he were a fishman, how strong would his wrist be? Neptune thought to himself. Suyu returned to the Black Wing with a White Star, and it happened that the Batman also rushed back. He had an ugly-looking fishman in his hand. Boss Suyu, I caught this guy. Batman shouted excitedly. After getting closer, he found that Suyu's face was calm, and he giggled in his heart, and the secret passage was not good. The more calm Suyu was, the more frightened he became. Is it because I didn't do a good job? When Batman thought of this, he couldn't help but be a little frightened, and said cautiously, Lord Suyu, how to deal with this guy? Suyu's eyes looked directly at the Batman, and the frightened Batman had to kneel. When I was talking to White Star, a flying knife flew over. Suyu said lightly. Batman's face changed suddenly, and he finally understood why Suyu was angry. When he captured Vanderdecken 9, Vanderdecken 9 threw out a throwing knife that did not hit him. He also taunted Vanderdecken 9 for not being able to fight. Unexpectedly, Vanderdecken 9 was not attacking him, but White Star. Boss Suyu, give me a chance. I will deal with Vanderdecken 9. Batman pleaded decisively. If you don't handle Vanderdecken 9, then I'll deal with you. Suyu returned to the Black Wing with a White Star. Chapter 161. White Star has a shark pet, which is large and parades quickly in the sea, and can carry the White Star without getting on a boat. The White Star summons the shark and sits on the shark's back, grabbing the fins with both hands. Mekaro, will you visit the outside world with me in the future? White Star said. Mekaro is the name of the shark, and it is the only object of the White Star in the hardshell tower, with a body length of more than 50 meters. Mekaran has a high IQ, can understand people's words, readily agrees, and makes strange noises. Blackwing set sail, and the big shark carried the White Star behind Blackwing and left Fishman Island for the first time. Neptune and Ottoham, as well as many fishermen soldiers, watched Suyu and the others leave. White Star won't be in danger. There are a lot of human hunters out there. If White Star is caught, what should it be? White Star's brother Shark Star said. Rest assured, the White Star will not be in danger. Neptune shook his head. Your Majesty is right. The White Star will not be in danger. Sea Hero nodded. Even if he is the strongest in the world, it will not be good to meet the Navy on the sea. Shark Star said. He's not alone. The people around him are very strong. The Seaman said in a deep voice. I fought with those 4 women who looked the same. The result? I'm not an opponent. Sizzle tilde. The crowd took a breath of cool air. They have seen the strength of Shiping can be recruited by the world government to become the 7 martial seas. It is enough to see how the strength of the Great Ping is. Shihai is also the strongest on Fishman Island. The women around Suyu, even Ziping is not an opponent. It's incredible. Your Majesty, maybe you made the right decision. Shiping said suddenly. Neptune turned, his mouth full of words, thinking about the future of Fishman Island, and leading the crowd back to the palace. Your Majesty, I want to go out. Shiping said to Neptune. Where to go? Whitebeard pirates. The Whitebeard pirates have been hit recently, and I'm going to visit them. Neptune didn't stop him. He couldn't stop him. Shiping is very moralistic, has a good personal relationship with the Whitebeard pirate regiment, and also helps Fishman Island win the flag of the Whitebeard pirate regiment, so that Fishman Island can be protected from pirate attacks. Although Fishman Island changed its flag, Neptune was also grateful to Whitebeard. Tell Whitebeard about Fishman Island. I'm sure he can understand me. Neptune said. Your Majesty need not worry, Whitebeard is not the kind of person who is small-minded. After Blackwing left, he also left Fishman Island and swam in the direction of the Whitebeard pirates. Meanwhile, Naval Headquarters. Jian sat in his office, working on some documents. General documents are not handled by her, and there are exclusive clerks in the Navy who will handle them. She was mainly responsible for fighting, suppressing the sea, and catching pirates. As she became a general, the tasks gradually decreased. That's right, just less, not much. After becoming a general, some tasks did not need to be handled by her personally, and some lieutenant generals took care of them. Only when she encounters a formidable enemy will it be her turn to move. The phone bug rings and the connection is cut off. Giant's eyes revealed a hint of brilliance. The adult's plan has begun. I don't know if it was the admiral who took the bait this time, or who. If it's a red dog or a pheasant, it's fun. The admiral will decide from the red dog and the green pheasant. If one of them becomes a companion, it will shock the eyes of the warring states and the 5 old stars. She connected to the Sengoku phone worm and said straight to the point, Marshal Sengoku, I have found the traces of the wings of nothingness. The warring states on the other side of the phone bug heard her words and frowned. Where is he? How do you know? I have extra life paper. Jian's words were fooling the warring states. She couldn't even look at the extra count, where there would be the life paper of the extra count. Before modifying her ability, she didn't look at the extra. After modifying her ability, she didn't even look at the extra calculation. There was only Suyu in her heart. After hearing the letter, Sengoku thought it was true. After all, Jian and Kaji were both alternate generals, and it was possible to have each other's life paper. For example, he has Cap's life paper. At this time, the Navy already knew about the rebellion and posted a high bounty of 900 million yuan to the plus. With the strength of the ink grease, the bounty will not be so much. It's just that the Navy has not yet determined whether the extra meter really betrayed the Navy, or whether it is a snake in disguise. When Jija was in the Navy, he was an old fritter, his abilities were not weak, he was loyal to the Navy, he had been working in the Navy for decades, and he had also reached the position of alternate general, and the position of major general was close at hand, and there was no reason for Jija's betrayal. So only a bounty of 900 million is given, not high or low. What do you want to do? Warring states condensed. According to my intelligence, the Void Wings did not bring the 100 Beast Pirate Regiment with them this time, nor did the 10 Blades. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I want to apply for the Slayer Order. At the same time, 2 great generals were sent to assist me. Capture the Wings of Nothingness. Jian said. Sengoku pondered. his fingers tapping the table, making a thumping sound. Can't get out? If it is a move, what if it is a trap? Suyu actually brought the main combat strength and 10 blades of the 100 Beasts pirate regiment with him. Could the 3 admirals capture them? If he didn't move, he missed such a great opportunity, and he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to sleep well for half a year. Where did you get the information? Add to the hand. The plus has betrayed. It's a trap. Sengoku frowned and said directly. He firmly believes that Jiji has betrayed. That's why I said that I would send 2 generals to cooperate with me to capture the Void Wings, and the 3 generals would attack at the same time. No matter which pirate regiment could not stop them. After hesitating and thinking for a long time, the warring states finalized that Huang Ape would take 8 lieutenant generals and 20 rear admirals and 10 naval ships to cooperate with Giant to capture the Void Wing. As for why not to send 2 generals, the warring states also had their own ideas. If it is a trap, with the speed of the Yellow Ape and Giant's ability to control water, it can also be killed, and there is no need to worry about being caught by pirates. The Red Dog and the Green Pheasant are not necessarily, they do not have the ability to escape, they cannot fight at that time, and they cannot run if they want to. He didn't want to see the general damaged. Without the admiral in the navy, the prestige will be reduced to the freezing point, the countless kingdoms on the sea will no longer trust the navy, no one will pay the heavenly gold, and the Draco will riot. Chapter 162 Navy Marshal's Office. The warring states casually threw a copy of the information to the lamb next to him. The lamb snapped a few times and chewed up the data and swallowed it. The crane was right next to him, his hands wrapped around him. Yellow Ape and Giant. Can the 2 of them really arrest the Void Wings? Giant's strength on the sea should not be underestimated. Coupled with the ability of the Yellow Ape, there is a great possibility. Warring states muffled. In this war, the Navy will also suffer serious losses. The Wings of Nothingness can knock down Whitebeard, and its strength is very close, even if it is not as good as Whitebeard. Once it broke out, the ordinary Navy could not stop it. I have a bad hunch that this operation is likely to fail. The crane looked out the window. Regardless of the outcome, Giant and the Yellow Ape would not fold in Suyu's hands. The speed of the Yellow Ape was the highest in the sea, and if he wanted to go, he could not stop him. Giant's ability to manipulate the sea and escape into the sea. The Wings of Nothingness can't do anything with her. After receiving the order from the warring states, the Yellow Ape was very helpless. It's too much for me to deal with such a terrible enemy and not pay overtime. The Yellow Ape scratched its head. General Yellow Ape, who is our enemy this time? The adjutant asked. He had long been accustomed to the Yellow Ape's way of speaking. The Yellow Ape often put good monsters and monsters in his mouth, but in fact, those enemies he called monsters and good terrible enemies often couldn't stop him from making a move. Wings of Nothingness. The Yellow Ape pulled a long tone. It turned out to be the Wings of Nothingness. Not enough. Oh, it's the Wings of Nothingness. The adjutant jumped up on the spot and looked at the Yellow Ape with great surprise. That's right, it's him. Get the boat ready and it's time for us to go. The Yellow Ape waved his hand. The adjutant became nervous and no longer lazy as before. Their enemies are Wings of Nothingness, the super sea thief in the limelight. Defeated 2 sea emperors in succession. Bring the 100 beast pirates under your command. In one fell swoop, the 100 Beast Pirate Regiment was pushed to the position of the strongest pirate regiment. Who in the sea doesn't know that the 100 Beasts Pirate Regiment has a sea emperor and a strongest man in the world? Sizzle tilde. The adjutant inhaled a cool breath and his eyes were firm. No matter how terrible the evil, it will eventually be defeated under justice. Taking a firm step, the adjutant began to gather his men. The Yellow Ape glanced at the adjutant's back and chanted, "Evil must be defeated by justice. It seems that after victory is justice." Giant also began to gather his subordinates, and 3 naval warships were ready to sail at any time. Seaside, hundreds of people gathered. "For justice!" Giant shouted. "For justice! For justice!" The naval soldiers chanted. They do not know what terrible enemy they are facing. I don't know who I am fighting for. News that the Navy had sent 2 generals to encircle the Void Wings began to spread within the Navy. When the Red Dog and the Green Pheasant learned of this, they had different ideas. The Red Inu applied to the Sengoku to encircle and suppress the Void Wings. The Pheasant continued to salt the fish. Regardless of it, the Sea Black Wing sailed westward, but there was no trace of the White Star behind it. Only the extra was left on board. Batman walked over to Jiaji's side and asked curiously, "Lord Jiaji, where has Boss Suyu gone?" Boss Suyu got the news and returned to the Kingdom of Peace first. Jiaji said. "So where are we going?" "Moving on. The task left to us by Boss Suyu is to search for demon fruits and collect as many demon fruits as possible, regardless of categories. Superhuman, animal, and nature can be." After searching for a demon fruit, Suyu Boss was rewarded. Jiaji said. Batman smiled. It wasn't the first time he'd gone out to sea to search for demon fruit, and he liked it very much. Because this kind of task does not fix where to go. Demon fruit has no fixed place of birth. Demon fruit is possible all over the world. Some people with good luck may pick up the devil fruit on the ground. "Lord, I know a method that can greatly increase the probability of finding the demon fruit," Batman said quietly. Jiaji's eyes lit up, and he knew that the real goal of this mission was not the demon fruit. "But if you get the demon fruit by the way, Boss Suyu will definitely be very happy. What's the solution? The grown-ups know where the demon fruit was born. Of course, we know that after the death of a demon fruit power person, his demon fruit will be reborn somewhere in the world. The location of the rebirth is unknown, and those who may die in the new world will have their demonic fruits reborn in the East Sea. There are so many demon fruit abilities in the world, and countless those who have died with the abilities will be reborn in a remote place if they die. It won't be discovered for many years. We just have to go to remote and no one places to look for it, and it will definitely be rewarding, Batman said confidently and with a smile. Jill looked at Batman suspiciously. You guy, your thinking is quite strange, but there is some truth. Hey, don't hide from the Lord. I went out to sea with Boss Jack before to find the demon fruit. Boss Jack often uses this method. Batman smiled and rubbed his hands. Jill rolled his eyes. It turned out that it was not Batman's idea, but the method he had learned from Jack. Start looking your way. Add a big hand. Before Suyu left, he arranged for him to become the temporary captain of the Black Wing. All pirates are under the control of the added gang. 10 days later, they really let them find a demon fruit, and what kind of demon fruit it was still unknown. Jill was basking in the sun on the boat as usual, when suddenly a shout woke him up. Plus count. There are boats coming to us. It's the ship of the Navy. Jill's eyes flashed a trace of essence. Finally here. It really makes me wait too long. All ready to fight. Plus count. The Navy has 16 ships. Let's retreat. Retreat? What have you done to me? Lean me up. Add a yell. Batman staggered and looked at the Plus in amazement. It's not like an extra. This is clearly the words of Jack Boss. Jill is usually very salty fish, and Batman has been looking in the eyes. Chapter 163. The other side. The soldiers on the naval vessels were waiting, and the adjutant was reporting the situation. Yellow Ape General. Discover the Black Wing. I finally found it. The yellow ape moved its neck, close to them, then start shelling. Yes. Huang Ape glanced at Giant next to him. I didn't expect that the object of cooperation this time was you. I thought it was Kizin. Giant and Zheru call each other sisters, and the yellow ape of course knows Giant. Giant also often called him the yellow monkey. The two were in charge of different fields before. The yellow ape was responsible for suppressing the new world. The pirate came and he killed. The pirate did not come. He did not move. Giant is responsible for infiltrating and killing pirates. There is little cooperation in encircling and suppressing pirates. Kizin can't come. Giant said. I really envy Kizin. I don't have to face such a powerful enemy. The yellow ape said casually. Report the yellow ape general. Peach Rabbit Admiral. No trace of the Void Wings was found on the Black Wing. A lookout hurried to report the situation. What? Isn't the Void Wing on the Black Wing? Are you sure you see it clearly? The yellow ape adjutant asked loudly. See clearly. There is no Void Wing on the deck of the Black Wing, but there are former Navy alternate admirals to aid. The lookout looked at Giant cautiously. Giant and Kaja had surrounded and suppressed the pirates many times, and when they saw the betrayer, Giant would definitely be very angry. Wings of Nothingness is not on board. Where will it be? Giant frowned and muttered to himself. Add that boy. Let me try him. The yellow ape flew into the air, its hands flashing with bright golden light. 8 feet of Kyangyu jade. Countless dazzling light bullets rushed towards the Black Wing, and the dense light bullets covered a large area of the sea, and there was no way to escape. Can only resist hard. Giant looked at these light bombs and said silently in his heart. The yellow ape didn't leave his hand this time. The 8-foot Kyangyu jade that left his hand and the 8-foot Kyangyu who did not stay behind were completely two concepts. It seems that the 8-foot Kyangyu is a large-scale attack. There is no accurate head, and it is fast enough to dodge. But if you really think so, you are very wrong. Don't forget that the yellow ape is a great general. He's got a lot of talent. Aiming for a target is easy. At the time of the war on the top, the yellow ape's 8-foot Kyangyu did not hit Luff. When encircling Zephyr, the yellow ape's 8-foot Kyangyu hit Zephyr without knowing how much. In the middle of the fight, completely see the yellow ape left no hand. In the face of the skylight bomb, the pirates on the Black Wing were even green. They anticipated that the Navy would fire artillery at them as they approached. But I didn't think that the distance was so far, and the Navy released such a large and dense light bomb. Hide? How to hide? The number of light bullets is too large, and it can only be resisted. Navy, these guys don't talk about martial arts. Attack before you get close. Everyone be careful. This is the attack of the yellow ape general. It's bad to get hit. Navigator. Retreat. The pirates roared in horror and anxiety. Unfortunately, the navigator on the Black Wing had been replaced, and Nami was taken away by Suyu. Even Runiyuan, Sugar and others left. If Nami drives the boat, she can avoid a lot of light bullets. Don't panic. Lean me up. With a roar, alloys appeared on the surface of the body, and 2 alloy cannons appeared behind them. Catastrophe D. The cannon fired a wave of light that swept through the sky with energy projectiles. Bang, boom. The explosions were undulating, and the pirates, seeing this, shouted in delight. Ha ha ha. Plus boss is so strong. Even the attack of the yellow ape general can be blocked. Lean up. There's a plus boss in. We can definitely win. It's so terrible. The pirates under the wings of nothingness are really terrible. The voice of the yellow ape sounded. A golden ray penetrated the bodies of 4 or 5 pirates. Thump. The pirate fell weakly. The yellow ape pierced their hearts, and no one who came could save them. Porusalino didn't expect us to meet again. It would be such a situation. Jia looked solemn. The three admirals of the Navy are known as the most powerful fighting forces of the world government. Red Dog Sarkarski, Pheasant Kuzin, Yellow Ape Porusalino. It is still unknown which of the three generals is weaker or stronger, and who is the strongest. Many people are optimistic about the Red Dog. The magma fruit is known as the strongest attack, very terrible, coupled with the fierce means of the Red Dog, the prestige is famous. Some people also think that Kuzin is the strongest, and the frozen fruit is not afraid of the sea, and can fight wherever he goes. He didn't know who was stronger, Sarkarski and Kuzin, but he knew that Porusalino wasn't weaker than the two in front. Porusalino was the only man he couldn't see through in the Navy. Never used full strength. No matter what kind of enemy he faces, Porusalino is a relaxed look. The Yellow Ape fell to the deck and confronted Jia. Add in, why betray the Navy? The Yellow Ape asked in a very serious tone. Is it useful to say that now? We are already enemies. Can I say why, and you can spare me? I've dealt with you for a while, and I don't think you're the one who's going to betray the Navy. The Yellow Ape shook his head. People change. For the devil fruit, the Yellow Ape observed the appearance of the plus, covered with alloy all over his body, and two more cannons on his back. Is it superhuman? The Yellow Ape guessed darkly. You can understand that I didn't have the good luck of giant steels who use demon fruit and successfully escape. The Navy will save you. Do you believe it? Add rhetorical questions. The Yellow Ape was stunned for more than 10 seconds, and after analyzing in his mind, he was silent. Go to war with the wings of nothingness and rescue the extra? It certainly can't be done in a short period of time. It's useless to talk more. Let me see your new power. The Yellow Ape clapped his hands together, quickly released, and pulled out a golden sword. Heavenly Kong Cloud Sword. I'll surprise you. Jia pounced on the Yellow Ape. The infinite dragon beast form gave him super strength, and his physical strength was almost unlimited. Play for hundreds of days and nights, and you won't get tired. The Heavenly Kong Cloud Sword collided with the fist, and the Yellow Ape was horrified, and its body retreated one after another. It took tens of meters to retreat before stopping. What a power! Your power is much stronger than before. The Yellow Ape couldn't help but say. There was no way to force him back before. His physical skills are weak. It is only because of the physical skills of Bbook that he is weak, and compared with the physical skills of others, he is very strong. This is my power, infinite power, Jia said proudly. Infinite power, fun. The Yellow Ape fired dozens of rays of light and bombarded the Jia. As long as you can't get close, your infinite power will be useless. The Yellow Ape laughed. Unlimited cannons. Two amazing energy cannons resisted the light and rushed towards the Yellow Ape. The Yellow Ape's pupils shrank sharply, and he hurriedly dodged. Rumble. Bang. The infinity cannon fell on the sea in the distance, causing a huge explosion. The sea tumbled, the waves rose, and the waves rose 1,000 meters high. The Yellow Ape was stunned. The soldiers on the naval vessels also looked in unison at the location of the explosion. No one noticed that someone had quietly boarded the ship and changed into navy clothes. Chapter 164. On the boat, Jian glanced back, his face not changing color. The battle between the Yellow Ape and Jia continued, and they went in very different directions. Jia was biased towards physical skills. His strength was very strong, and coupled with the strength of the infinite dragon beast, his combat strength climbed to a new height, not weaker than that of the admiral. The direction the Yellow Ape goes is to develop the devil fruit. His sparkling fruit is definitely the trop demon fruit on the sea. The fastest speed, the scorching heat, the destructive power, there is almost no weakness. Even a waste that eats the sparkling fruit can become a strong person. Not to mention the Yellow Ape, who was called a monster before he got the sparkling fruit. After the Yellow Ape obtained the ability of the shining fruit, he neglected the exercise of physical skills, but he still became a general. Because just by virtue of the ability of the shining fruit, he can become a strong man at the top of the sea. Zafor had said that the Yellow Ape relied too much on the demon fruit ability. The other two monsters, the pheasant and Sarkarski, are still actively exercising their physique after obtaining the demon fruit ability, so Zafor and the Yellow Ape have a worse and worse relationship. He didn't expect that the Yellow Ape would go all the way to black, developing the sparkling fruit to a terrible point. In the sky, the Yellow Ape released flashes of light with both hands, and the flashes of light fell from the sky, all round. Full coverage. The whole sea was bombed several times. The Blackwing turned into scrap iron in the wild bombardment of the Yellow Ape. The pirates wailed and dived into the waters to flee to the distant islands. Monsters. This is a monster. The pirates roared in fear, madly. Totally different. The strength shown by the Yellow Ape is not the same as the rumors. The Yellow Ape had never attacked like this before. I've seen the Yellow Ape shoot. The Jedi are not so scary. He's serious. He hadn't shown his real strength before. Swim to the Navy ship. As long as we get close to the Navy ships, we are safe. One of the pirates shouted. The remaining pirates turned around and swam in the opposite direction. They're gambling. On the deck of the Navy ship, Jian rubbed his white chin. The Yellow Ape general is serious, and continuously releases 8 feet of Kyungyu jade. 8-foot Kyungyu bomb for 3 minutes in a row. The sea was stained blood red, and all the fish on the seabed were killed. This is the first time I've seen the yellow ape general so serious. It can even be said to be violent. The yellow ape's lieutenant couldn't help but say, Jia had been on the yellow ape ship for a while and had a good relationship with the yellow ape. The betrayal of the Plus made the yellow ape very angry, and it was understandable to fight violently. Jian said lightly. During the period of Rear Admiral, as the descendants of the monster class, they would follow the Admiral on missions, accumulate experience, and increase their merits. She did not perform a mission with the General at that time, but followed the crane out of the mission. Admiral Peach Rabbit, who do you think will win? Adjutant Huang Ape said. One-on-one is not clear, the addition is no longer what it used to be, and his demon fruit ability is very suitable for him, enough to keep him from losing the battle with the yellow ape general. But this fight is not one-on-one. Giant slowly pulled out the fast knife Jin Bai Luo, and his eyes were sharp. The soldiers on Haijuan's ship were burning with eyes, expecting Giant to strike. The fourth greatest general of the famous sea. It's finally time to strike. In Giant's office, Suyu leisurely brewed a cup of coffee and took a sip gently. Yes, the Navy's coffee is really good. Is this the treatment of the Admiral? Suyu laughed. This is obviously not ordinary coffee. It is estimated that it is the coffee contributed by a certain kingdom to the Draco. The Draco then rewarded the Navy, which was eventually distributed to Jian. He didn't look out for the battle outside, which was doomed from the start. If it was the Red Dog who came today, Suyu would definitely do everything he could to turn the Red Dog into his own person. The Red Dog is the future Admiral, and Kane is the strongest of the three Admirals of the Navy, overpowering the Pheasant and the Yellow Ape. Think about how helpful it would be for the future Admiral to become his own. Even if it is a green pheasant, Suyu will fight for it. The Pheasant can't beat the Red Dog, but can he help? There is a high probability that he will be able to defeat the Red Dog and ascend to the throne. Unfortunately, it was the salted fish General Yellow Ape. The speed of the Yellow Ape was too fast. He wanted to escape, and Suyu could not stop it. On the sea, no one in the world can stop the Yellow Ape. Moving at near the speed of light is too unsolvable. There is no way to modify the Yellow Ape's demon fruit ability. I can only think of a way to do it later. The way to trap the Yellow Ape is not nothing, but it can't be achieved in a short period of time. Suyu murmured. It is impossible to modify the General's demon fruit ability. That is, only the second plan can be executed. Suyu had already instructed that if the General who came was a Yellow Ape, he would resolutely implement the second plan. The coming General will be a Pheasant or a Red Dog, and the first plan will be carried out. I have another point to modify. Who do you want to choose? Devil's Heir. Red Earl. Above the sea, after the Yellow Ape stopped his hand, Jia rushed out violently. He changed into the form of an infinite dragon beast, covered with thick digital alloys, and after resisting all the attacks of the Yellow Ape, he still maintained his combat effectiveness. Porusalino. This level of attack. It can't hurt me at all. Add a roar. The infinity cannon is charged, gathering terrifying energy and releasing two waves of light. The light waves were hot, the air around them was distorted, and the Yellow Ape incarnated into a flash of light, constantly dodging. The Yellow Ape silently calculated the attack in his heart. Powerful and lacking in speed, he can fight a war of attrition with the lightning fruit ability. He suddenly thought of the infinite power that Jia was talking about. Infinite power is obviously not infinite power, but infinite physical strength and power. If it's true, it's trouble. The Yellow Ape had a secret passage in his heart. Conquer him. Queen of the Imperial Fish. With a loud roar, Giant held a giant shark blade and set off a mighty wave. Sea tornadoes appear on the surface of the sea, dark clouds gather in the sky, and the cold sea breeze whistles as if it were the end of the world. Chapter 165. Sizzle Tilda. The Yellow Ape smirked. Such a natural disaster-like attack was too terrible. Unrivaled. This is a natural disaster-level attack. The attacks of him, the Pheasant, and the Red Dog have been called natural disaster-level attacks by countless pirates. Compared to Giant's attacks, their attacks are much smaller. Although the power is great, it does not mean that the combat strength is strong, but from a certain aspect, this is the combat strength. Marshal Sengoku is right. Giant is really one man and one army. No need for teammates at all. Companions are a burden to her. The natural disaster level attack caused a wide range of damage, and even the companions were not spared. The Yellow Ape whispered. Giant raised the giant shark blade, set. More than 30 sea tornadoes gathered in the direction of the addition, and the rolled sea water rotated at high speed, like a sharp blade, destroying everything that approached. This is the power of the sea. The roar of the majestic sea. Counting roars, the infinity cannon recharges again. This time different from the last time. This time, he gave his all. The terrifying light wave spread, crushing the sea tornado, the dark clouds were scattered, and the sea boiled. The Yellow Ape emitted hundreds of rays of light, forming a set attack and bombing plus. You can't run today. The Yellow Ape let out a loud voice. He's rarely serious. After he was serious, no pirate escaped from him. Got me. Do you know what the Navy is up to? 100 Beast Pirate Regimental members, 10 blades, and the world's strongest man. Add a roar. It's useless to talk more. The Navy is never afraid of pirates. Giant holds aloft a giant shark's blade. A huge current rises from the sea and rotates around the plus meter. broken falls. The high-speed impact of the current is enough to destroy steel. No matter how hard the substance, in front of the majestic sea, it is like thin paper. Scorching sea currents. The sea heats up and boils in an instant. Kill. Like the long roar of the king of the sea, the boundless power of the current carrier impacts Amaterasu. The yellow ape transformed into a small sun and released a pillar of light through the sky. Pillars of light fall from the sky, shining in all directions, and the islands far away from the battlefield can see this dazzling light. Real kills. If you can't resist this trick, you will die. The addition of the infinite cannon. The giant claw flew out. Turbine claws. Unlimited cannons. Two abilities are used at the same time, and one person wants to fight against the attacks of two generals. The soldiers on the naval ship opened their mouths wide, shocked, expecting the outcome of the battle. So strong. The Peach Rabbit General is too strong. The ability to manipulate the sea is like a sea emperor. It feels like the Peach Rabbit Admiral is even more terrifying than the Red Dog Admiral. Marshal Sengoku once said that on the sea, Peach Rabbit will be an invincible presence. The Yellow Ape General has also shown his true ability, and this ability is the first time I have seen it. The two generals will strike at the same time. Even the Sea Emperor Whitebeard can't stop it. No one can defeat two generals at the same time. The Great General is the strongest fighting force in the world government. Strength is inevitable. The soldiers did not skimp on their praise. The pirates pursued the strong as respect. Why not the Navy? Even the Navy worships the stronger than the pirates. In their opinion, the more powerful the companions, the more powerful pirates they can definitely defeat. Half an hour later, Jiaja was carried back to the Navy ship by the Yellow Ape. The naval soldiers put Heilashi handcuffs and shackles on the Jiaji. Once upon a time, after the pirates were caught, only the shackles were not handcuffed. But the Golden Lion changed this rule of the Navy. After the Golden Lion was imprisoned in the Advance City, he cut off his feet and escaped from the Advance City with the help of the ability of the fluttering fruit. For other pirates, there is no courage like the Golden Lion. Without legs, the combat strength plummeted. With limited mobility, it is very likely that you will not be able to escape the Advance City. But don't be afraid of 10,000, just in case. If there are also pirates who have the ability to fly, and what if there is a Golden Lion-like courage? After the Golden Lion escaped from the city of Advance, all pirates must be handcuffed and shackled after being caught. No matter how bold the jellyfish are, they don't dare to cut off their hands and feet. Without hands and feet, it is a waste. There is no point in escaping from Advance City. Jiaji accepted honestly, without any resistance. Naval ships, it's been a long time coming. Add to the sigh. Add in. From the day you choose to join the pirates, you should be ready to be arrested. Jian said. Jiaji ignored Jian, and he was ordered by Suyu not to harass Jian in the future. Jiaji naturally obeyed Suyu's orders 100% and had no interest in Jian. How many floors are you going to imprison me in Advance City? The 4th layer, or the 5th floor? Jiaji smiled as if he hadn't been caught. The soldiers on the ship were very confused. It's so scary, plus after you've been caught, you can continue to joke like this. It's a terrible mentality. The Yellow Ape regained its appearance as a salted fish. It's a pity. This time it's you. Jiaji looked at the Yellow Ape and sighed in disappointment. Huang Ape's heart tightened, and he felt that there was something in the words of the Plus plan. But I couldn't figure out what it meant. Why did he come? Because he is fast. He can't escape. Or is there something else? You should be glad I'm here this time. You're just a little bit injured. If you were the Red Dog guy, you would lose half your life. The Yellow Ape said casually. Jiaji smiled. If it was a Red Dog, it would be fine. Boss Suyu's initial goal was the Red Dog. Admiral Red Dog may not have as many supporters as the Pheasant, but most of the people who support the Red Dog are Admiral-level strongmen, not ordinary soldiers. The Pheasant has more supporters, mostly soldiers and ordinary officers. Jian waved his hand and said coldly, report to the Marshal of the Warring States. Ask what to do with the traitors. The Yellow Ape noticed the number on Jiaji's body and asked curiously, the number on your body represents the ranking among the 10 blades? Jiaji nodded. The Yellow Ape's pupils shrank sharply, and his heart was shocked. Third? Is the addition only the third of the 10 blades? Doesn't it mean that there are 2 blades above that are stronger than the plus? The third blade already had a general-level combat power, so how strong should the second and third blades be? As their superior, how powerful should Suyu be? The Yellow Ape felt bad, and a hint of ominous premonition arose in his heart. Chapter 166. The 10 blades are not ranked according to combat strength? The Yellow Ape asked. If it weren't for the ranking of combat strength, things wouldn't have been terrifying to a certain extent. What do you think? Jiaji looked at the Yellow Ape with a smirk. It's terrible. The monsters of the new generation are terrible. Can you tell me what those 2 people above you are called? What do you think? Can you please change the answer? What do you think? The Yellow Ape's forehead was bursting with green tendons, and his good temper was enough to choke. It was really hateful. You guys just die in Advance City. I'm not going to die in Advance City. We also had the opportunity to meet. The Yellow Ape stared at Jiaji's strange smile, wondering in his heart. Except for the Golden Lion, no pirate has escaped from Advance City. Naval Headquarters. Sengoku received the news and stood up violently. What? Didn't catch the wings of nothingness. Instead, it caught the extra. Plus also got the demon fruit ability. And the Battle of Porusalino is not the same. The news was so explosive. Let the warring states slow down for more than 10 seconds before returning to God. The Navy has lost a major general. It's a pity. Crane was also present, and sighed after hearing Sengoku's words. Have you asked why Jiaji betrayed the Navy? The Wings of Nothingness gave Jiaji an Esper demon fruit. Also gave him the position of the third blade. Esper species. The Wings of Nothingness are really generous. The third blade? The 10 blades under Suyu's command, third in addition. One news after another made the warring states' eyes bloodshot. After the arrest, he did not feel relaxed and happy, but a little heavy. Through the extra calculation, you can spy part of Suyu's power, too strong, beyond the Emperor of the Seas. I'm afraid that the other 3 sea emperors will be able to unite to defeat Suyu. The more he knew, the more the warring states became frightened, and the more he felt bad. Wings of Nothingness, how exactly did you do it? Warring States murmured. Marshal of the Warring States. What should I do with the amortization? Escorted to Advance City first. Leave it to the judgment of the world government. How many floors? 6th floor. 6th floor. It also means that the extra meter can't go out of the city. If the world government does not kill the plus will stay in the Advance City until death. All pirates were captured by the Navy and held to death. Pushing into the city to set up so many torturous things. The purpose is to make these pirates die in pain. Every day people are tortured and fall down, losing their lives. Every once in a while, new pirates are sent into Advance City. Batch after batch, the city will never be full. Yellow Ape, it's up to you to charge Jiaji to advance the city. Sengoku said. He considered that Jiaji had worked with Jian for a long time, and was afraid that Jian would let Jiaji go. The plus power is so strong, it can't make the plus return to the void wing. Blue. Crane's phone bug rang, and after connecting, the voice of the Admiral was heard. The G1 branch of the New World was attacked by the 10 blades of the void wings. Need support. The Vice Admiral shouted. Sikorsky. He's not in the G1 branch. Crane said immediately. The Red Dog General is fighting the 10 blades. The other side is able to devour the magma of the Red Dog General. After devouring the magma, the opponent's strength became a little stronger. The Red Dog Admiral is in a bitter battle, and the other side also has a number of powerful ability people. The shadow fruit of the former 7 Marshal C. Moria was obtained by one of them. Bang! Sengoku slammed the table, furious. Take the initiative to attack the G1 branch. They are so bold. Is the Wings of Nothingness going to war against the Navy? Could it be that Wings of Nothingness learned of Jiaji's arrest? So he sent his men to attack the G1 branch and forced the Navy to release the extra plan? Crane guessed. No. Their purpose is to rescue the plus. If I had Jian and the Yellow Ape all support the G1 branch, they would have hijacked the ship. Rescue plus. Yellow Ape, you're fast. Go support the G1 branch. Jian is responsible for imprisoning him to Advance Castle. You must not let the extra meter run. Yes. What a trouble. I just finished the big battle. Let me go to support. After cutting off the phone worm connection, Sengoku thought about it and connected Kapu's phone worm. Sengoku, find out what I do. I'm practicing boxing. On the other side, Carp blasted the shattered mountain with one punch. 6 or 7 more mountains behind him had already been blown up. During this time, he was addicted to practicing boxing and blew up more than a dozen mountains. The mountain thieves who were close to here were all scared away, afraid that Carp would kill them all with one punch. The Wings of Nothingness are powerful. The Navy needs your strength. What's wrong? Sengoku told Carp what had happened. Carp frowned after listening. It's not good. The Wings of Nothingness are developing too fast. If the Navy wants to take down the Void Wings alone, it will have to pay a very big price. I will report to the world government that a plan to address the Wings of Nothingness cannot be delayed any longer. I have sent someone to recruit powerful pirates to become the 7 Marshal Seas, and after the 7 Marshal Seas are gathered, it will be time to solve the Void Wings. I'll be back soon. Carp knew it wasn't time to practice boxing decisively, and Sengoku said, the G1 branch battle is fierce, and Runyuan and Tifi No. 3 face off against the Red Dog. Red Dog is very depressed. His strength is clearly stronger than Runyuan and Tifi No. 3, but he is restrained by the ability of the 2, and he has not been able to take down the 2. His magma was swallowed up by the huge fire dragon that Runyuan had transformed, and after devouring his magma, the fire dragon became a few points stronger. The flames spewed out by the fire dragon were extremely hot, and even he could hurt them. Know that his magma fruit is the superior fruit of the burned fruit. Restrain the power of the flames. Tifa 3 is extremely defensive and fast, and the light waves emitted make him slow down, and he can only be passively beaten. Damn, this is not a speed class capability. It's time. The Red Dog gritted its teeth. But any ability that involves time is not simple. The other party has the ability to restrain him, and the other has the ability to have the nature of time. He wasn't sure he could win. The roar of the Fire Dragon King. Runyuan opened her mouth widely, and the monstrous dragon flame flowed down like a waterfall. The naval soldiers fled in a panic, and the Red Dog's arm was elementalized, shooting out a large amount of lava. Big spitfire. The magma collided with the flames, and Runyuan's eyes lit up, rushing into the flames and swallowing the magma in a big mouth. When the Red Dog saw this scene, His face turned green. Fool people too much. Fool people too much. The G1 branch has sufficient troops, and the soldiers stationed here are all elite, all of whom have mastered the armed color domineering. The strength of the single body is not as good as Hinata and Runyuan, but the number has gone up, and it is also terrible. The two sides fought fiercely, and the navy barely maintained its retreat. An hour after the battle, Runyuan roared, and everyone began to retreat. Chapter 167. The Yellow Ape General will arrive soon. Don't let them run away. Red Dog Adjutant roared. Drag them down. Destroy these pirates today. There are no boats on the sea. They can't run. Everybody fight hard. Ha ha ha. These stupid pirates. The boats are gone. Still want to run? The situation took a sharp turn for the worse, and the naval soldiers began to exert their strength to try to hold Hinata and the others back. The Red Dog chased after it with red eyes, and its body exuded a terrifying momentum. Runyuan and Tifa No. 3's rogue-playing style made Red Dog almost collapse. How could he let Runyuan and others leave? Pirates, evil pirates, you can't run. Victory belongs to the righteous navy. The Red Dog roared. Ha ha ha. The Red Dog General doesn't have to send it. Thank you for your magma, which has increased my strength by a cut. Runyuan laughed. Red Inuyasha vomited blood, looking at Runyuan viciously, while being careful to guard against the sluggish light waves of Tifa. You can't run. There are no boats on the sea. Even if you can fly, you can run away. But other pirates can't fly. If you can't fly, you can't run? Runyuan looked at the Red Dog sarcastically, roared, and a wave of waves was set off on the sea. A huge shark appeared, and everyone silently ran to the shark's back and grabbed the shark's dorsal fin. Not bad. They can control the Neptune class. The Red Dog was anxious. He exploded with internal strength. His arms soared into the sky, and a huge ball of lava flew into the sky, and the bearer fell towards the sea in a terrifying heat. Attack all. Kill that Neptune. The Navy soldiers roared. Bullet after bullet flew out and attacked the big shark. When the big shark saw this, he was about to be scared to death, and he ran away with everyone in a panic. The changing fire dragon spewed out dragon inflammation to block the attack of the Red Dog and the naval soldiers. It's so terrible. It's another 10 blades. The voice of the Yellow Ape sounded, artificially, and the golden flash shells fired in a salvo, rushing towards Runyuan like raindrops. Yellow Ape. Runyuan roared low. It's the Yellow Ape coming. Be sure to keep this dragon. Can't let her continue to do evil. The other pirates escaped into the sea and ran away, but this dragon could never run away. The speed of the Yellow Ape General is the first in the world. Naval soldiers were encouraged and morale was high. Runyuan did not choose to confront the Yellow Ape hard, quickly changed back into human form, and flew into the sea with a thud. Enter the sea and disappear without a trace. Red Dogs and Yellow Apes are capable people who cannot go down to sea to find them. The G1 branch doesn't have the demon fruit ability. All go to the sea to find Runyuan. The Red Dog roared. His prestige was very high in the G1 branch, and a large number of naval soldiers did not hesitate, threw their guns on the ground, jumped into the sea, and swam to the location of the Runyuan sea. Chase. We will definitely catch the fire dragon Runyuan. She is a demon fruit power 1. When you enter the sea, you will become weak. After the Yellow Ape rushed to the G1 branch, he was surprised. Is the enemy so strong? Make you look dirty. Red Dog's face turned black, and Runyuan and Tifa No. 3 worked together, which was really incomprehensible. He had suffered a lot of losses, his body was dirty, and there were many holes in his clothes, and he looked like a big defeat. Their ability to restrain me. The fire dragon Runyuan can swallow magma to become stronger, and the more I make the fruit ability, the stronger the other party is. There is also a woman whose demon fruit ability involves time. It's very difficult. The ability to relate to time. The Yellow Ape muttered. The wings of nothingness are all monsters. Not a simple cargo. How many blades are you fighting? The 4th blade. What? The 4th blade? I just grabbed the 3rd blade. The Yellow Ape has a very exaggerated look. Red Dog only wants to beat up the Yellow Ape. The 10 blades are not ranked by combat strength. No. The 3rd blade is a plus. He told me that the 10 blades are ranked according to combat strength. Red Dog straightened his face and turned his head back to his office. The Yellow Ape was still laughing and talking to the Red Dog in the back, and every time they talked, the anger of the Red Dog would rise by 1 point. After a few hours, the Navy soldiers returned without success, and they did not find Runyuan from the sea. Bang! The Red Dog smashed on the desk, a cigar in his mouth, burning with rage, and lava bubbling up from his arm. Wings of nothingness. This vendetta. I wrote it down. Where did they find a Sea King? Without that Neptune class, none of them could run today. The Yellow Ape cut his nails and said without any concern, the 10 blades are not easy to grasp, according to limited intelligence estimates. The overall strength of the 10 blades under the wings of nothingness is no worse than that of the Sea Emperor. In addition, the Void Wings also control the 100 Beast Pirate Regiment. Combined, the Wings of Nothingness is now the undisputed overlord of the sea. The Emperor of the Sea must retreat. The Wings of Nothingness are stronger. Arrest him too. All pirates be damned. You're going to catch it? Did you catch it? Porusalino, are you speaking for pirates? I'm stating a fact. The Yellow Ape shrugged indifferently. Advance the city. Giant pressed Jeji to this super large prison known as the Copper Wall. The advanced city is full of felons. The inside is gloomy. There are a large number of monster guards. In the windless zone, all the advanced city will have a large number of super-large Neptune species. These super-large Neptune are the best guardians. Deter countless pirates, who, Peach Rabbit, opened the door. Welcome to the Peach Rabbit. The guards of Advance Castle quickly opened the heavy gate of Advance Castle and welcomed Giant to them. Upon entering the door, Magellan led Hannibal and Hierus to greet him. General Peach Rabbit, we have received orders from the Marshal of the Warring States. Plunge the extra into the 6th lair. You can take a short break here. Magellan said, no need to rest. I'm going to personally bet on the 6th floor. Giant waved his hand. Magellan did not refuse. The Admiral had the right to visit the 6th lair, and he could not stop it. After Eunoxi appeared in Giant, he realized that Giant was a powerful sword master, and a strong sense of war arose in his heart. So strong, stronger than any enemy before. I want to fight her. Her clutched the fast knife and exuded a strong sense of war. Giant glanced at her. She ignored her and crossed it directly. 2 navies followed Giant. They were Giant's aide-de-camp and Suyu. Brother, you're not on General Peach Rabbit's ship? Adjutant Giant asked. Suyu's face was wearing a mask, and the adjutant could not see Suyu's face at all. If he saw Suyu's face, he would recognize Suyu in an instant. I am a member of General Huang Yi's ship, and the Marshal of the Warring States has arranged for me to keep an eye on General Peach Rabbit so that she will not let her go, Suyu said. The corners of Giant's adjutant's mouth twitched. This brother spoke really bluntly, not at all taboo. Aren't you afraid of being heard by the Peach Rabbit General and wearing small shoes for him? Brother, be careful. You really should be careful. Suyu nodded. If you are not careful, Giant will be pregnant with a child, and it will be trouble. Chapter 168. The upper floor is not a place to watch over criminals. All criminals are sent into the city, where they are baptized and tortured. Magellan introduced Dara. The position of the director of Advanced City was nominally equal to that of the general, but the power is not the same. The general, as the strongest combat force of the world government, has a very large power, can easily mobilize more than a dozen naval ships, as well as a large number of naval soldiers. The director of Advanced City does not have this ability, and his power is limited to Push City. Leaving the Advanced City, there was almost no power. So the director of Advanced City was only nominally on par with the general. The miserable cries of the criminals were heard in the torture room, and it is conceivable how much torture they were suffering inside. The baptism on the 1st floor of the sea is to throw the criminal into 100 degrees of boiling water and wash away all the bacteria. The time of the baptism is set by the Advanced City. Throw it in and fish it out immediately, or throw it in for 10 minutes and then fish it out. A jailer grabbed the meter and threw it into boiling hot water. He was not afraid of the sea and the sea stone. The demon fruit ability was still there, but he just put it away and pretended not to be able to use the ability. His skin was as hard as iron, and he could not leave a wound with a bullet, and the boiling water of 100 degrees could not help him. The jailers were astonished. It's so powerful, it doesn't change color in the boiling water. When the pirates were baptized in the past, they all cried out incessantly, and some even shouted dumb in their voices. It's been more than 10 seconds, his skin is not red, his physique is very strong. Is he an incompetent person? No, I heard that he was a former admiral in the Navy, who ate the devil fruit after betraying the Navy. The capable person was trapped by the sea tower stone, and he had such a strong physique. Unbelievable. After the capable person is trapped by the Hyalu stone, he will become powerless, and his ability will decline in all aspects, and even those who are physically strong will become very weak. Not only were the jailers surprised, but Magellan and her were also surprised. They knew more than the jailers. You can guess how strong Jej's physique is. The admiral is so strong? Her whispered. It seems to be. Magellan replied with a suspicious answer. He only knew that the admirals were very strong, and the 3 admirals were all stronger than him. But I don't know how strong the candidate is. 5 minutes. Jeje was calm and relaxed, like a hot spring, and exhaled a white breath comfortably. 10 minutes later, the skin is slightly reddened. Magellan waved. Bring him up. Sent to the 6th floor. Yes. The jailer quickly picked up the charge and detained him to the 6th floor. The first layer of Advanced City is the Red Lotus Hell, the second layer is the Beast Hell, the third layer is the Hunger Hell, the fourth layer is the Scorching Hell, and the fifth layer is the Extreme Cold Hell. The 6th layer is Infinite Hell, Legendary Hell, a hell that frightens all pirates. The criminals who can be imprisoned here are all monster pirates who are very vicious and erased from history. Everyone is close to the legendary level. One of the pirates is a legendary character. What they did was so vicious that it was covered up by world governments that even newspapers rarely carried their messages. Roger One Piece was once imprisoned here. Golden Lion Silly. There are still demonic hairs imprisoned inside. Barrett. Crescent Hunter. Catlin Daimi. Huge Battleship. San Juan Wolf. Big Barrels. Basque Court. Evil King. Abaro Pizarro. Lonely Red. Barra Cloudfield. World Destroyers. Bondi Waldo. Among them, the Lone High Red and the Devil Air are legendary beings. Lone High Red is incredibly strong, and one person is on a par with Roger and Whitebeard. Needless to say, the Demon Air's strength is definitely not weaker than that of the Emperor of the Sea. Stand at the top of the sea. The group reached the 6th floor. and the sea thieves began to curse when they saw Magellan. "Magellan, let me out. I can give you endless treasures. Ha ha ha. And women. When will it be the woman's turn to come in on the 6th floor? Are the men in the Navy dead?" The evil king taunted. "Evil king, what are you talking about? Look down on women." The crescent hunter shouted. "She seems to be an admiral." "What? Admiral? How could an admiral be a woman? Isn't the admiral of the warring states and Zephyr?" When came out a woman. "Fart. Admirals are no longer Sengoku and Zephyr. Now it's red dogs, pheasants, and yellow apes." "Fake admiral." "What did Magellan want to do? Scare us? Ha 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 ha. Laugh me to death." The pirates sneered disdainfully. Hera spat out a smoke ring and said lightly, "I really want to kill these guys." No orders, no indiscriminate killing of criminals." Magellan said. "Cut. What's the use of keeping these dregs? Better to kill them outright." Hera skimmed his lips. "Shut up." Giant drank low. The adjutant of Giant guessed something and kept retreating. The sea thieves paused, then erupted in louder taunts. "Let's shut up. Steel bones come empty without this ability. Naval scum. There is the ability to come in and kill us. When I went out to sea, you didn't make a sound." The peach rabbit's eyes gradually became terrifying. The golden flames rushed. The terror flames roared, rolling in all directions. Like a tide, it seemed to overwhelm everything. This is not a domineering color, but a simple boldness. After fusing with the power of the Imperial Queen, a special aura is formed. Like spiritual pressure, but not pure spiritual pressure. Magellan, Hera, and the guards, who were closest to Giant, were first struck by this golden flame, and their hearts were flustered, and the pressure like the sea made their bodies automatically retreat. What a horror! So strong! Hera and Magellan thought to themselves, "This is the power of the new 4th general." The marshal of the warring states said that he could suppress the great general of the sea. Magellan glanced at the giant lieutenant behind him. This guy guessed what was going to happen and didn't remind us. Hera noticed the figure behind Giant, and did not take a half step back in the face of this monstrous golden flame. "Strong. I want to fight him." Boom. Hannibal swallowed and fell to his knees, terrified. "Don't kill me. Kill Magellan, so I can become the director of Advance City." Oops, I spoke my heart again. Advancing into the 6th layer of the city was silent in an instant. All the pirates seemed to be choked by their throats. The boundless pressure made it difficult for them to move, and their bodies trembled uncontrollably. Barrett and Redfield looked dignified. They weren't as bad as the other pirates. Giant's arrogance is indeed amazing, but they all have a good overlord color, and the arrogance can't affect them too much. Chapter 169. The Navy is still the hegemon of the seas. The new admiral is terrifyingly powerful, Redfield whispered. Barrett smiled in horror. "Wait for me to get out. It's going to be turned upside down. Make the Navy pay the price." Giant saw the pirates coming down honestly and snorted coldly. "A bunch of scum. Talk nonsense again. Send you to the bottom of the sea to feed the fish." The admiral killed a few pirates, and at most was reprimanded for a few words, and there would be no big punishment. Giant's lieutenant returned to his position. "General Peach Rabbit is the 4th general who breaks the rules." "You scum. 100 combined is not enough for the Peach Rabbit general to kill." "What? The 4th general? Just kidding. Isn't there only 3 generals in the Navy?" "The great general who has been promoted out of the box." "The Navy of this era has become stronger. The pirates outside are out of luck." It's hard to imagine how strong she was to be promoted to the 4th general. "The sea thieves are talking a lot. Not enough is still not respectful. They are all evil people. Evil people, how can they respect the Navy? No matter how strong Giant is, they don't care. Even with white beards, they still taunt her." Hera escorts the Gaga into an iron cell in the depths, next to Barrett, with the World Destroyer on the other side. "Let's go inside." Hera pushed the plus in and locked the iron with a bang. Who is this man? How qualified he was to come to the 6th floor. Still locked up in a deep iron prison. The evil prince roared and questioned Magellan. "What cats and dogs are locked up on the 6th floor?" Magellan waved, and the 2 jailers took iron forks and stabbed the evil prince several times. The evil ruler grinned in pain, and the dirty words in his mouth continued. "Wait for me to go out. Be sure to kill you." The evil monarch let out harsh words. Magellan did not care at all. The evil monarch in the peak state was not his opponent, and the evil monarch who had been imprisoned for so long had a sharp decline in strength, and he had long since ceased to be at his peak, and coming out would not pose any threat to him. He's an alternate admiral of the Navy. There are very few of you who can overcome him. Magellan didn't know how strong he was now. If he knew that Gigi could fight with the yellow ape without falling behind, he wouldn't say so. "What the?" The sea thieves were very surprised and had a great deal of interest. "Alternate general? Is this little dwarf an alternate admiral of the Navy?" "Hey, what did you do?" "Captured in Advance City." "Could it be that he killed the Draco?" "Ha ha ha. Definitely killed the Draco. Just been locked in." "The Navy is the dog of the Draco, and the dog bites the owner. You'll be fined heavily." Giant turned round, and when she was about to walk out of the 6th floor, she stopped and said lightly, "He betrayed the Navy and became a subordinate of the Sea Overlord before he was imprisoned in the City of Advance." The sea thieves suddenly exploded the pot and roared wildly. questioning who the giant sea overlord was. Overlord of the seas, not the emperor of the seas. Neither is One Piece. This is the name. Once belonged to Locks. Giant and his party walked out of the 6th floor, and Magellan couldn't help but ask, General Peter Rabbit, what's going on the sea? I had never heard of a sea overlord before. Because the sea overlords rose too quickly, the city did not get news. The super sea thief, codenamed Wings of Nothingness, defeated the world's strongest man, Whitebeard, and Kaido's, the strongest creature in the sea, land and air, and took the 100 beast pirates under his command, and even the 100 beast Kaido became his subordinates. There are also 10 blades of elite combat power under his command, each of which is extremely strong, not weaker than the sea thief of the New World. The addition is one of the 10 blades. With Giant's explanation, Magellan and the others were shocked. Take the 100 beasts Kaido as a subordinate. It's also too dreamy, Magellan murmured. He had met Kaido and tried to kill Kaido with poison. Unfortunately, it failed in the end, and his toxin made Kaido diarrhea at most. Kaido, who was as strong as a monster, was defeated, and it was impossible to imagine how strong the Wings of Nothingness were. The new overlord of the sea is in chaos again. Ura said. After Magellan sent Giant away, he closed the gates to advance the city. On the naval ship, Adjutant Giant scratched his head. Well, I always feel like I forgot something. I thought about it and couldn't figure it out. Advanced to the 6th floor of the city. The pirates are still shouting, questioning and counting. Quick, say, who is the overlord of the seas? Whitebeard. Isn't that Kaido, that bastard? Damn. You talk. Jiaji calmly sat on the only small bed in the iron cage, his arms on his legs. Whitebeard. He has become a stepping stone. Kaido was also subdued. Jiaji said. Impossible. Whitebeard is so strong. Even Roger is not necessarily Whitebeard's opponent. How could he lose? Kaido is subdued? That sea, land and air strongest creature Kaido will be subdued? Are you dreaming? They are the emperors of the seas. It will not be easy to lose. Jiaji sneered and didn't say much to these pirates. He knocked on the wall on the left. Your Barrett, who was exercising, stopped and said, I'm right. Jiaji grinned and finally found the target. In the second plan, Barrett is the primary target and not the Lonely Red. Do you want to mess with my boss? Messing with your boss? Ha ha ha. Now you know who I am, and let it go. Barrett laughed, very arrogant. He also didn't give up training on the 6th floor of the Advanced City, which was completely different from the other pirates. After the other pirates were imprisoned in the 6th lair, they lost their will, became increasingly decadent, and their strength inevitably declined. He's different. He does ultra-high-intensity foundation workouts every day. His strength has not declined. The physique is also a little stronger. During the long workout, his physical ability has improved in all aspects, whether it is strength, speed, endurance, physical strength, skill, reaction speed, etc., are impeccable, without any weakness. He felt like he had surpassed Roger. Become the strongest in the world. How can you become someone else's hand? The old assembly gives you the power to surpass Roger. Roger? Oh, I have surpassed Roger. He didn't necessarily surpass Roger. No, you're still far from Roger. It is undeniable that your physique surpasses Roger. But your domineering spirit is still worse than Roger. Domineering is a great blessing on the battle. You fight Roger, and eventually you will lose to Roger. A sound sounded, alarming all the sea thieves. Who? Barrett yelled. In the darkness, Suyu slowly stepped out, like the king of the night, terrifying and noble. He had a hunch that Barrett's Esper species would surprise him. A surprise bigger than Yoma. 10 blades can produce one more general. Barrett, you're not really at your limit yet, and there's room to go. Chapter 170. Barrett's pupils narrowed suddenly, and not only him, but all the pirates were extremely surprised. Where is it? Advanced to the 6th floor of the city. Infinite hell. If you want to get here, you must go through the 1st floor of the upper floor of the city to the 5th floor of the lower floor. It must collide with Magellan and others. Magellan's strength outside was not as good as that of the 3 generals, but in the limited space of the advanced city, Magellan's poisonous fruit power was greatly increased, and the 3 major futures would not be vain. How did he get to the 6th floor? Magellan, are they crap? My sight and smell have been covering the 6th floor, and he appeared suddenly. Just now there was no breath of his. Never mind, brat. Fast. Let us out. I can reward you with endless wealth. Save me. I was a sea thief of the same era as Whitebeard, and I fought with Roger. There are countless treasures outside. As long as you save me out, I can share half of you. Fart treasure. Your treasure has long been swallowed up by your men. For decades, I still want to think about my treasure. Brat. Let me out. I can teach you to be domineering. I am proficient in trickler domineering, and under my teaching, you can become the new emperor of the sea. Roll. My men will not betray me. My treasure is still there. Save me. The pirates roared madly, or threatened, or used treasure as a guide, just so that Suyu could open the iron prison where they were being held, return to the sea, and enjoy the fresh air. Suyu ignored the shouts of many pirates and calmly looked at Barrett. What he needed was to form the elite of the 10 blades, not the ambitious miscellaneous fish. There were quite a few big thieves on the 6th floor of the city, many of whom had long since aged. Their bodies were no longer at their peak, and their strength had declined seriously. These people were worthless to Suyu. He has modified points and will not use them on these people. At present, the modification points are limited, and it is necessary to choose a good target. Barrett is a great target. Barrett has been pursuing power since childhood. Bent on becoming stronger, he became a member of the Douglas Army when he was young, rushed to the battlefield to defeat the enemy, won a big victory, and was regarded as a hero. Barrett thought that with strength he would get everything, that the kingdom would respect him, and that the commanders of the Douglas Army would value him. When Barrett was 14 years old, Governor Douglas was promoted to Barrett, promising Barrett to keep Barrett out of the battlefield after the final battle, and Commander Douglas betrayed Barrett and wanted to kill Barrett. Anger at betrayal, Barrett destroys the kingdom and army he was loyal to, and has since been hunted down by the world government. Barrett, 15, wandered around the sea, fighting and fighting without a single defeat. He then meets Roger, who was still a sea thief at the time, and after fighting with him, loses to Roger and joins Roger's pirates. At that time, except for Roger on the ship, only Riley was able to draw with Barrett, and the other carders were not Barrett's opponents. The talent is terrifying. Barrett's talent surpassed that of countless people on the sea, but unfortunately his domineering spirit was weaker than Roger's, and by the time Roger died, he had not defeated Roger. Domineering is too high for the improvement of combat strength. Kaido and Luffy said in their final showdown on Ghost Island that the devil fruit cannot conquer everything, only domineering can. This statement is not entirely true, because Luffy is Kaido who defeated after awakening the Nika form, but it can also be seen that the importance of domineering is. Barrett grabbed the iron railing with both hands and stared at Suyu deadly. Burning with rage, he thought he was the strongest, surpassing Roger. Suyu said that he couldn't beat Roger. This made the proud Barrett unbearable. "Let me out, I'll kill you." Barrett roared. "What a roar, the grown-ups are right, you're not as strong as Roger." Jiaji said. "Adult, what do you mean? Don't understand? He is the overlord of the sea in the mouth of General Peach Rabbit. Defeated the men of Whitebeard and Kaido." Jiaji raised his hands, and his arms exploded with great force, breaking the Heilu stone handcuffs. Heilu stone was incomparably hard, far harder than steel, but his strength was even greater. The strongest of the infinite dragon beasts is not the infinity cannon. It's the power of terror. After the handcuffs were broken, the leg shackles were also broken. Barrett and the pirates were dumbfounded. "It's impossible." That's Heilushi handcuffs and leg shackles. Even Kaido couldn't break free. He's a capable one. After being chained by the Heilu stone, there is still such a strong power. Isn't he a capable one? If you are not an able person, it is difficult to break free of the Heilu stone handcuffs. That's something harder than steel. Jiaji walked to the iron cage with a look of surprise, holding the iron railing with both hands, and the powerful force exploded, and the 6th floor of the advancing city was slightly vibrating. Steel railings doped with sea stone were bent. Jiaji stepped sideways from the bent iron railing and stood behind Suyu. Sizzle tilde. The performance of the increased calculation made them believe that Suyu was the new sea overlord, the strongest of this era. Barrett's eyes lit up with war. "Sea overlord, you are the strongest of our time. Just beat you. I surpassed Roger." Suyu grinned, revealing a mouthful of large white teeth. "That's right. After defeating me, you've surpassed Roger. Let me out. I'm going to fight you." "Not necessarily." Suyu shook her head. "With your strength, joining me is enough to become a top 5 being." "Join us." "Top 5? I'm just in the top 5? After getting the power I give you? The worst can become the third." Barrett was not convinced, and burst out a powerful Overlord color. Overlord color shocked Suyu. The sea thieves on the 6th floor did not burst into the Overlord color. They all wanted to know the bottom line of Suyu. Is there any qualification to be called the Overlord of the sea? Bang! Suyu exploded with a tyrannical color, and 2 powerful Overlord colors collided, producing purple-black lightning, and some old pirates' heads buzzed and fainted. Suyu calmly moved forward, and with each step, the Overlord color was 1 point stronger. Gradually suppress Barrett's Overlord color. Barrett's Overlord color range is very wide, very strong. Its Overlord color exploded in full swing, and even the island would shake slightly. His Overlord color is similar to that of Anairu, and his range is extremely wide. During the Pirates' Congress, Barrett's Overlord color covered an oversized area, and the island shook slightly. Closing parenthesis. But Suyu's Overlord color is stronger. Suyu's Overlord color was already close to that limit, and as long as he went further, he could reach the level where the red hair Overlord color was located. Barrett's face was ugly, and on the 6th floor of the advanced city, he worked hard to exercise his physique, and all aspects of his physical ability were close to the limit, but the Overlord color did not make much progress. The improvement of the Overlord color requires extremely strong courage. Imprisoned on the 6th floor, no matter how ambitious his ambitions were, his courage would not increase. When Suyu walked to Barrett's cage, Barrett's Overlord color had been completely suppressed by Suyu. "Be the sword in my hand. You will surpass Roger." Suyu floated in the air, one hand resting on Barrett's head. Chapter 171. Barrett struggles, trying to rebel against Suyu. Jiaji breaks into the iron prison and holds Barrett to death. Barrett was suppressed by the sea tower stone, and his physical strength could not be fully exploded, which was the opponent of the extra calculation. No matter how much he struggled and how unwilling he was, he couldn't change the ending. The sea thieves on the 6th floor all looked at Suyu quietly. No one broke out over the overlord color to help Barrett. They are all fierce pirates. How can they help others for no reason? Redfield stared at Suyu's back, wondering what he was thinking. Strange man, I can't see through his heart. Redfield murmured. Redfield's vision is more special, and he can see through people's hearts. He had just unfolded his sights and ears, but he had not been able to see through Suyu's heart. Suddenly, Suyu turned his head and looked at him. Redfield's heart tightened. He found me. After a while, Suyu retracted his gaze. Redfield is also a good fighting force. But now is not the time to subdue Redfield. System. Modify Barrett's demon fruit ability. Suyu said to the system in his heart. Ding. The host chose to modify Barrett's superhuman lineage fusion fruit. Please don't leave Barrett's head with the host's hand. The mechanical sound of the system sounded again, and in Suyu's ears, this sound was incomparably beautiful. Open the Barrett panel. Name, Douglas Barrett. Abilities, Armed Color Domineering, Top, Master Hardening, External Release, Winding, Seeing and Hearing Color Domineering, Top, Extremely Large, and accurately sense the position of distant enemies in a large bullet. Overlord Color Domineering Spirit, Top, Extremely Large Range, Full Burst, Able to Cover Islands, Fusion Fruit Awakening, Devil Form, Fusing Domineering Chi, greatly increasing speed and strength, unique to Barrett's ability, Medium Bull Form, Large Bullet Form, Ultimate Cannon. Talents, Beyond Level Armed Color Domineering Talent, Top Sighting Color Domineering Talent, Beyond Level Overlord Color Talent. Worthy of a man who can equal Riley at the age of 15. This panel is really scary. The Trickler Domineering has reached the top level, and the system panel cannot display the physical data, otherwise Barrett's physical data will definitely be higher than the Trickler Domineering. Thanks to Barrett's strong physique, his 3-color domineering energy can be called massive. During the Pirates' Congress, Barrett's armed color was unleashed, and a house collapsed, and the armed color spread outward like a tsunami, sweeping away all obstacles. Even the armed color completely covers the giant's thousands of meters high. Its amount can be called a monster. Possesses 2 transcendental talents and 1 top talent. If the physique also has talent, then Barrett's physique must also be beyond the level. That's right. There is also the horror of Big Mother's physical talent. If these 2 people combine and give birth to a child, they will definitely be incredibly powerful. Suyu thought in his heart. Big Mom should be happy to have a baby with Barrett. After subduing Barrett, do you want to propose a marriage with your aunt? Forward. It is estimated that Barrett will not be willing. Let go of me. What have you done to me? Barrett yelled. You'll know soon. Suyu smiled. After a few minutes, Barrett rolled his eyes and fell unconscious. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully modifying Barrett's demon fruit. Barrett's demon fruit ability has been modified to the animaloid fish fruit, Esper species void form. Suyu was stunned. Void form? This is what the East tilde. It doesn't look strong at all. Suyu's brow frowned slightly, and after the demon fruit turned into an Esper species, the strength would generally soar by a large margin, and the breath would increase. He didn't feel Barrett's breath getting stronger. Not at all. Could it be that Barrett had bad luck and ran into a garbage ability? Suyu murmured in his heart. Suddenly, Suyu remembered the origin of the void. From death. One of the 10 blades of the void circle. Rank 9th. Strength is the weakest of all the 10 blades. The guy who was killed by Rukia with the first solution. The strength is not even at the death captain level. Once recognized as the shame of the 10 blades, Suyu was not surprised. The 90th blade of Onilo Araruali was very weak, but it did not mean that he was weak. But there is one in the void called already self-possessed. He had suppressed the young Captain Yamamoto Motoinagi Shichikuni, the great void of the era of Beirugan. Its strength is very strong, because there are endless possibilities for the void. It is the only void that can evolve indefinitely, and can obtain the opponent's ability, memory, and spiritual pressure by devouring other virtual beings. You can also transform into the form of a devoured person. It was because of his own particularity that Aronilo became a 10-bladed, and he devoured 33,650 voids. Claimed to have the strength of 30,000 troops. There is unlimited potential, as long as there is time and conditions. You can get stronger and stronger than everyone else. I'm really lucky to have such an ability. Suyu sighed. It can be said that it is the most suitable ability for Barrett. He hadn't thought of it before, and expected Barrett's Esper species to be angry beasts. The angrier the beast, the stronger the strength and the larger the size, which is more in line with Barrett's fighting style. Jia smiled and asked, Lord, what is his ability? Strong? Not strong. Suyu shook her head. Jia scratched his head. He also knew that Esper species had strong and weak points. Barrett's luck is really bad, but although his ability is weak, his combat strength is also very strong. Although the ability is weak, but there are infinite possibilities. Originally planned to take some pirates and leave some behind. Now it seems that there is no need to stay at all. This advances to the 6th floor of the city. It's a feast for Barrett. Wait for him to wake up. The world will have one more powerful monster. If nothing else, the first of the 10 blades will be replaced. Or, Let Ryoma know that someone is stronger than him, which can stimulate Ryoma's potential and let him continue to become stronger. Chapter 172. The people who can be imprisoned in the 6th floor of the City of Advance are not simple goods. They all have their own outstanding abilities, such as huge battleships, and his size is also very prominent among the giants, and his oversized size gives him great strength and good defensive power. With a single wave of your hand, you can destroy a large number of buildings, which is very destructive. Waldo's Momo fruit is extremely special. If a physically strong person, such as Carp, eats it, then Carp can hang a bunch of pirates and let the Navy Kings landing in the New World. There are also many sea thieves with super domineering. There are not a few pirates with Overlord colors. The Overlord color may still be relatively rare in the first half of the Great Voyage, and when it is put into the New World, there are more possessors of the Overlord color, just like the Secretary of the River. The Void can devour the ability, memory and spiritual pressure of others, and without the spiritual pressure in the pirate world, it is likely to become the domineering spirit that devours others. After Barrett wakes up and devours these fierce sea thieves in the 6th lair, his strength will definitely break through, and it is not impossible to surpass Roger. No matter how strong Roger is, that is also a person. There were quite a few sea thieves from Roger's time who fought with Roger. They had lost to Roger, but when their powers were combined, the outcome was not certain. I remember that the Void can turn into a devoured person. Even the ability can be used. If Barrett swallows the ability, can he use his demon fruit ability? If it could be used, Barrett's demonic fruit would be another matter. Suyu murmured in his heart. Aronilo devoured Metastasia, and Metastasia had fused with Sheba Petrel before his death, giving him the memories and abilities of Sheba Petrel, and even Sheba Petrel's slashing knife could be used. Since then, Aronilo has been devouring the dead Void to become stronger, increasing his spiritual pressure, and used to use the image of Sheba Heian when fighting. In Suyu's eyes, this was undoubtedly a very stupid act. Sheba Heian was only the 3rd seat of the 13-year team, not even the vice-captain, and his strength was average. If Aronilo swallowed some powerful Voids, he would not rank 9th in the 10 Blades. Name, Douglas Barrett. Loyalty, 100%. Abilities, Armed Color Domineering, Top, Master Hardening, External Release, Winding, Seeing and Hearing Color Domineering, Top, Extremely Wide, Overlord Color Domineering, Top, Extremely Wide, Full Burst, able to cover the island. Animal Fish and Fish Fruit, Esper Species Virtual Form, Devil Form, the fusion of Domineering, greatly increase the speed and strength, belongs to Barrett's ability. Virtual Flash, Virtual Bullet, Ring, Return Blade, Devouring, absorbing the abilities, memories, and domineering spirit of others for their own use. Changing into the appearance of the devoured person. The breath, ability, and appearance are the same as the devoured person. Even the closest people cannot recognize it, but they are afraid of the sun, and when they encounter the sun, the ability to change will be invalid. Talent, beyond the level of Armed Color Domineering talent, beyond the sight of the Color Domineering talent, beyond the level of the Overlord Color talent. Ding, please choose to extract a certain ability of Barrett. The sound of the system rings out. Suyu hesitated. He wanted Barrett's demonic form. This ability is unique to Barrett's ability, which can fuse domineering and strengthen his own ability. The stronger the domineering, the stronger this form is naturally, and the potential is endless. It is also Barrett's key ability to draw Riley at the age of 15. Suyu's domineering talent is extremely high, and after learning this ability, his extreme combat power will be improved again. The next time you fight against Whitebeard, you can also suppress Whitebeard strongly without speeding up and regenerating that rogue style of play. Another option is Barrett's transcendental sightings. His knowledge is still one level away, and he can transform into an external level. At that time, his 3-color domineering spirit will reach the outside level. The talent surpasses all the people in the pirate world and reaches the heights of the gods. Seeing and hearing is not urgent, and if you have a chance to get it in the future, the devil form is not necessarily the same. Suyu decided to choose the devil form. This ability is definitely not something that can be learned simply. Otherwise, Barrett wouldn't have mastered it. There are countless people cultivating domineering chi on the sea, but only Barrett can fuse it. I chose to extract the devil form, Suyu said to the system. Ding, the host chose to extract Barrett's devil form. Extraction successful. Congratulations to the host for gaining the demon form ability. With the sound of the system sound, Suyu mastered the ability to fuse domineering. Many messages appeared in his mind, telling him the trick of domineering fusion, and his body trembled. Such a profound skill, worthy of Barrett. The legendary sea thieves are not simple, have their own special place. Suyu shook his fist and couldn't help but sigh. Performing a demonic form requires a strong physique. If the body is not qualified, forcibly cast the devil form, the body will be eaten back, and the enemy will hurt himself before he hurts. Barrett has a special physique, and at the age of 15, he is as strong as an ox before he can use the devil form. Pictured here is what Barrett looks like when he challenged Roger at the age of 15. Closing parenthesis. Suyu's physique is also very strong, and his Black Wing Demon fruit is different from Lucci's Leopard King fruit and Giant's Imperial Queen fruit. After Lucci and Jian obtained the Esper species ability, they immediately understood the Flash of the Void and the King's Void, as well as the corresponding abilities. For example, Lucci had just acquired the ability of the Esper species, and he had learned the Claw of the Leopard King, and Jian had learned the ability to break waterfalls and burn sea currents. Suyu needs to unlock the ability of the Blackwing Demon step by step. Every time he unlocks an ability, his physique will increase by a large margin, and his ability in all aspects will soar. A big reason why he was able to obtain such a powerful power in a short period of time was the particularity of the Blackwing Demon fruit. Unlock an ability and soar until you surpass everyone. Unfortunately, Barrett doesn't have the Flash of the King's Void. The guy in Aronilo was essentially a Killian-level Void, and even if he became a broken face, he couldn't grasp the Flash of the King's Void. His ability to make a noise surprised Suyu. Just as Suyu was communicating with the system, the sea thieves on the 6th floor saw Barrett fall, thinking that Suyu had killed Barrett, and began a new round of harsh talk. Suyu turned his head to look at the lonely Redfield, who had not yet eaten the vampire fruit. Redfield was Blackbeard when he made a big fuss as he sneaked out of the 6th floor, his body aging, and in order to regain his youth, he began to look for vampire fruit outside. By absorbing blood, the vampire fruit restores the eater's youth, and even the ability can be restored to the time when it was young, and it is an immortal demon fruit. Redfield's skin was withered, his face was wrinkled, his hair was white, and he wore a black and white prison uniform to maintain his elegance and nobility. Redfield noticed Suyu's gaze and looked at him. "What are your goals?" Redfield inquired curiously. Suyu came to the 6th floor, not to kill Barrett. Barrett and Suyu were not at all figures of the era. There must be other reasons. Expand, strengthen the overall strength of the pirate regiment. Originally my first target was you, Suyu said lightly. Redfield is very strong, once narrowly defeated the Steel Bone Heir that was still the Admiral. After defeating the Steel Bone Heir, the physical strength is exhausted, and is picked up by Carp and imprisoned in the 6th lair. Unfortunately, Redfield was old. He needs the vampire fruit to regain his peak strength. "I'm willing to work for you," Redfield said. "Oh?" It was surprising that Lonely Red was willing to become my subordinate. Suyu laughed. How could such an arrogant man as Redfield, who did not even have companions when he was young, suddenly choose to join his pirate regiment? There must be a purpose. However, Suyu didn't care. His pirate regiment was strong enough, and he was strong enough. As strong as Redfield, there is no trouble. Your choice? Yes, from now on, you are a member of the 10 Blades. Suyu flashed to the iron prison of Redfield, and blue energy appeared on his palm. Cheers. After decades, Redfield is back to freedom. Redfield looked down at his hands, the corners of his mouth up, and couldn't help laughing. "I finally free." The pirates on the 6th floor boiled over and shouted for Suyu to untie them. "I'd love to join your pirate band too. Unravel me. I can still take out all my treasures. Let me out. I can fight for you and make you one piece. Stinky boy. Come and let me go. I want to be free." Freely. The sea thieves roared madly, and the Overlord color ran rampant, and they unscrupulously released the Overlord color. "Shut up." Suyu drank low. The terrifying Overlord color swept through the 6th lair, and even affected the private paradise of the 5.5th floor. Through the 6th lair, those two words would be blocked and replaced by the word private. Ivankov led a group of people who were reveling, and were suddenly shocked by the furious momentum, and many people were paralyzed on the ground in fright. What happened? What a loud noise! Just now it was as if the abyss was staring at me, and goosebumps were up. What are the people below doing? Could it be that the criminals on the 6th floor have gone on rampage? Impossible. The 6th floor is the most guarded. Ivankov's eyes were solemn, and he had a bad premonition in his heart. It's as if a great terror is nearing. My adrenal glands were surging and my body was in fear. What the hell was going on below? Ivankov murmured. Not only them, but everyone in the city stopped beating their hearts, and fear and panic crept into their hearts. A demon that terrifies the world has awakened. Barrett opened his eyes suddenly, and the Carp stood up. The handcuffs and shackles on his body had been opened. Lord Xi has given me new strength, Barrett said, satisfied. New capabilities. Barrett grinned. I'm extremely satisfied. This is the best for my ability. Better for me than the fruit of the fit. The fruit of the combination had been developed to the point of awakening, and could no longer help him become stronger. And the void can help him continue to become stronger. Beyond Roger is out of the question. Barrett, this advanced city is your feast. Tell the world that the world knows you again. Thank you very much. Barrett's eyes glowed red, and he shook his neck and made a cackling sound. Ledfeld stood behind Suyu and looked at Barrett, pondering what Suyaku's new ability was. Suyu saw through Redfield's thoughts and said casually, soon you will know Barrett's new ability. Chapter 173. Barrett walks to the iron prison of an old pirate who often taunts Barrett. Because the old pirate fought with Barrett, lost to Barrett by the 6th floor, he and Barrett were both criminals, and they couldn't help themselves, so naturally they wanted to release their anger. Barrett is often taunted for doing useless work while Barrett is exercising. At this moment the old pirate watched Barrett approaching, terrified. You don't come here. I don't care about you. I don't want you to save me. Roll on, the old pirate shouted angrily. Death is on the verge of death, and it is still so arrogant. Barrett breaks through the iron prison and approaches the old pirate who is shrinking in the corner. Stinky little devil. Tube your subordinates. The old pirate pinned his hopes on Suyu. Unfortunately, Suyu did not want to pay attention to the old pirate. As soon as he swiped his arm, a dark opening appeared in the air. The space seemed to be opened by him. Unblock. Aquiola uses this ability to tear up space and return to the void circle and the present world. Suyu unlocked this ability when he was on Fishman Island, and since there is no void circle in the pirate world, he can only move in the pirate world. As long as he has marked the place, he can open a space passage. Ignore the distance. That's why he pretended to be a navy and followed Giant to advance to the 6th floor of the city. The 6th floor of the Advance City is a place where the gate fruit cannot reach. The walls of the Advance City are doped with a large number of sea stone, and those who can touch the wall will lose their ability, and the technology of Burgerpunk is mixed in. The gate fruit could not penetrate the walls of the advancing city. Suyu's void was not afraid of the sea tower stone, and the walls of the advancing city could not stop him. Knowing that he had no problem using the 6th floor as a back garden. Barrett, we're waiting for you outside, Suyu said lightly. Understood. I will as soon as possible. Don't worry, swallow as much as you can. I'm looking forward to your battle with Luffy. Suyu left the 6th floor with Jia and Redfield. After Xi Kong appeared, the sea thieves finally knew how Suyu had come to the 6th lair. It's space power. Won't this guy's spatial abilities be affected by the massive sea tower stones that push the city? Gone. Take people away. What a great space ability. Stronger than anyone I've ever seen with spatial abilities. Damn. Why not take me away? I'm also strong. And Barrett, quick, Barrett. Let us go. We can help you become One Piece. Barrett saw Suyu leave and murmured, the boss has already taken people away. That is, these pirates left behind. I can devour them all. The old pirate was close to Barrett and heard Barrett's murmur. What do you mean by devouring? What are you going to do to us? Be the nourishment for me to become stronger. Devour it all. Whoops. Barrett's palms became anemone-like beings, and his lower body became purple octopus. The old pirate is first swallowed by the purple octopus, and his strength and memory are transformed into food for Barrett's progress. Even the domineering spirit with the old pirate has become Barrett's. Barrett felt a little more domineering and couldn't help but laugh. I'm getting stronger again. That's power. Devour you. I can surpass Roger. The purple octopus stretched out its tentacles and passed through the iron cage, grabbing the pirates in it and devouring them. Sizzle tilde. Even the fierce sea thieves of the 6th lair, when they saw this scene, they felt extremely frightened and inhaled a cool breath. Monsters. Barrett, you monster. Let me go. A sea thief was caught by the tentacles, and he was suppressed by the shackles of the sea tower stone handcuffs, and he could not resist Barrett's tentacles at all. The tentacles envelop the sea thief and swallow it all. No. I don't want to be devoured. The sea thief wailed, and after a while there was no sound. The other pirates who had not yet been approached by the tentacles were desperate. They can't run if they want to, so they can only watch as the tentacles continue to devour and get closer. Damn monsters. What is his demon fruit ability? Barrett is the fruit of the fit. Only inorganic matter can be fused. Why did it turn into this monster? Not a fruit of fit at all. More like an animal per species. That stinky little devil just now said to give Barrett the power to surpass Roger. Could it be this force? One of the pirates was quick to guess. Stinky little devil. If I escape from the 6th floor, I must torture him to death. The other pirates gritted their teeth and hated not to beat Suyu to death 100 times. The devouring continued. Barrett getting stronger and stronger, and his breath was terrifying, making the pirates shudder. Barrett laughed wildly, and the feeling of long-lost power enhancement made him overjoyed. This feeling has rarely occurred since he was 15 years old. He grew extremely fast when he was young, and after reaching a certain level, it was difficult for him to progress rapidly because of his terrifying talent. For example, when he was 5 or 6 years old, his combat base was 1, and after a period of exercise, it became 2, and his strength doubled. When he was 15 years old, his combat strength base was 1000, and if he improved a little, he would not feel stronger. Ha ha ha. Remnants of the old times. Help me surpass Roger. Barrett yelled. The tentacles had spread to the iron cage of the large barrel, which was desperately resisting. Leave me alone. Please spare me. I can use it for you. Become your subordinate. The big barrel shouted. The evil kings, the crescent hunters, and the giant warships were all begging for mercy. After Blackbeard made a big fuss about the 6th lair, they chose to join the Blackbeard pirates. Now it is not Blackbeard who is making a big fuss on the 6th floor, but Barrett, who is stronger than Blackbeard, and they naturally beg for forgiveness. Barrett glanced at the 4 of them, who were good in strength, and it was okay when his subordinates fell. In fact, he did not have much intention of recruiting subordinates, because he believed that if he was strong enough, he did not need companions. But when he saw that Suyu had taken away the lonely High Red, he thought in his heart to help Suyu subdue some powerful subordinates. Maybe this can help Suyu. Keep one of you. Barrett glanced at the 4 men, withdrew the tentacles that had attacked them, and turned his head to devour the other prisoners. The four did not dare to speak, and watched as Barrett continued to devour, and his breath soared. Soon, Barrett encounters Waldo. The Momo fruit ability sealed in ice. World Destroyer. Fun abilities. Barrett decisively devoured Waldo. The number of prisoners in the 6th layer gradually decreased. Magellan, too, sensed something was wrong and led a large number of jailer beasts to the 6th floor. In front of the gate on the 6th floor, Magellan stopped and said in a deep voice, "I feel a very bad feeling. There seems to be monsters inside." The prisoners on the 6th floor were all suppressed by Hayalashi handcuffs, and they could not turn the sky upside down. Eric calmly took a sip of his cigar. The gates on the 6th floor are wide open. Their pupils shrank sharply, and they were greeted by 5 people led by Barrett. Barrett's body was a little stronger, the muscles in his back formed a grimace, and the muscles on his body were also crisscrossed. "Devil's air, Barrett. How did you get out?" Magellan cried out incredulously. "Poison, Magellan? I don't know if I can warm up." Barrett shook his arm and strode toward Magellan. Except for the 4 people, the other 6th layer sea thieves were all swallowed up by him. He didn't even know how strong his strength had soared. He can't wait to test his power. Damn. Notify the naval headquarters. Request support. Magellan yelled. Chapter 174. The sea thief on the 6th floor has run out, which is an unprecedented event in the city. Ura said in a condensed voice. He drew his knife and stared at Barrett. Barrett put too much pressure on him, completely different from his previous enemies. If the enemy he had slashed before was a stream, then Barrett was the boundless sea. Barrett's strength made Ura's body tremble slightly, not in fear, but in excitement. Can fight with a strong man like Barrett. It excites him so much. Suddenly, Ura thought of something, and his pupils shrank into needles. The 6th floor was so quiet. "Magellan, their arc works," Ura said to Magellan. Magellan also thought of something. The sea thief on the 6th floor. "Why didn't they make any sound?" "Giggle, they're gone. The boss has helped you solve so many sea thieves. Should you thank the boss?" Crescent Hunter Catlin laughed. "There's no smell of blood at all. The pirates inside aren't dead," Ura said decisively. "Of course there is no smell of blood, because they were all swallowed up by the boss." The evil ruler laughed. "What? Devoured?" Magellan's body was filled with venom, and he did not believe the words of the evil king at all. Barrett's demon fruit he remembered very clearly. It was a Superman fusion fruit, with no devouring ability. Poisonous dragons. Venom forms a long dragon, and in the narrow corridor, the power of his poisonous fruit is magnified several times. No need to aim at the enemy, all the way sideways. The corridor was full of venom, and the poisonous dragon approached several people. Not bad. In the hallway, Magellan's venom could not be avoided at all. The big barrel said panikedly. "Damn Magellan. If I go out of the advanced city, I will be able to suppress him easily." The evil lord said fiercely. The venom struck, and they could not retreat, covered by the venom wrap. "It hurts. It hurts. Damn Magellan. I'm going to kill you." "Magellan." Several people screamed, and the venom invaded, accompanied by severe pain, so that their spirits could not be condensed, and it was difficult to exert their domineering spirits. "Do you still want to inform the naval headquarters?" Hannibal asked. Notification. Magellan's face did not have the joy of victory, but became more and more ugly. Hannibal didn't understand that when he looked down Magellan's sight, he realized that there was a man standing in the venom. Barrett. He stood there silently. There is no change in expression on the face. Hannibal broke out in a cold sweat. Hurriedly stepped back and took out the phone bug to report to the naval headquarters. While staring nervously at Barrett, Barrett sneered, "Don't stare at me. I'm not going to stop you." He turned his head and said in a cold voice, "A bunch of waste. Even the venom can't stop it. If you die like this, I will devour your corpses." The evil lords were terrified and hurriedly said, "No, these venoms can't kill us. It's better to do so. My men don't need waste." Barrett finished speaking, galloping like a cannonball, and came to Magellan in an instant. The big hand pressed on Magellan's face, flying hundreds of meters and crashing into the wall. The wall mixed with sea tower stones was smashed through by Barrett. Magellan fell to the ground and said in shock, "You are not afraid of my venom. It's just venom." Barrett clenched his fists and slammed them down. Magellan hurriedly released a large amount of venom and blocked in front of him. Boom. Venom splashed around, and Barrett punched the ground. The ground of the advancing city cracked inch by inch, shaped like a spider's web. The whole propulsion city shook. Countless criminals looked up in surprise, not to what had happened. What happened? Why is the earth shaking? Are you stupid? Where is the earth shaking? Is the city or propulsion shaking? Someone is attacking advanced city. Can we take the opportunity to escape? One of the criminals' eyes lit up and shouted. Other criminals were also overjoyed. If someone attacks the advanced city, it means that the advanced city at this time is very chaotic. They all understand the truth of fishing in muddy waters. The more chaos, the greater their chances of escaping. Although some criminals on the 1st to 5th layers of the advanced city have not been sentenced to death, they cannot get out of the advanced city and have been suffering in the advanced city for many years, which is not much stronger than death. All when they learned of the chaos inside the city, they had the heart to escape. Magellan covered his chest, gasping for breath, and his eyes uncertain. Such a fast speed and strength, completely irresistible. Isn't he in the 6th layer 20 years? Why is there such power and speed? Didn't his physique fade with the passage of time? Magellan murmured. Her stepped forward quickly, the knife flashing scarlet light, sneaking up on Barrett from behind. It worked. Her was overjoyed. The fast knife was close to Barrett's neck. Barrett's eyes rolled and he caught a glimpse of her. Push the iron wall of the city. Is that the only level of strength? Boom. Barrett's arm is blocking the front of his neck at a speed invisible to the naked eye. His quick knife slashed at his arm, only to cut through his prison uniform. I couldn't even cut through the skin. Called out that it was impossible, but he was a great swordsman, and Magellan claimed to be pushing the city's iron wall. Before he killed the criminals in the city, no criminal could stop his knife. Barrett grinned, and his other fist slammed into his abdomen. The so-called iron wall. What a disappointment. Barrett shook his head. Magellan and his strength was still a little worse, not to the level of the top of the sea. Xiao spewed blood from his mouth, flew backwards for hundreds of meters, and crashed through 5 or 6 walls before he could stop. Xiao Qiang endured the pain, got down on one knee, and couldn't hold the knife steadily. So strong, I'm not at the same level as him. Are the legendary sea thieves so powerful? Magellan raised his arms and led a large number of jailer beasts to besiege Barrett. Barrett punched one punch at a time, easily defeating the jailer beast team. He didn't kill the jailer beast, he just beat them to the point where they didn't have the strength to fight again. He was ready to devour these jailer beasts. He wants to devour the entire city of propulsion of criminals and jailer beasts. Naval headquarters. With the arrest of GRG, the mood of the warring states was slightly better. Brew tilde. The phone bug sounded, and Sengoku felt bad in the darkness. There won't be another accident. I really can't stand it anymore. Warring States murmured. He picked up the phone bug, and Hannibal, who was across from him, shouted impatiently for support. Something happened. Pushing criminals into the city to escape. Sengoku immediately asked. Quick, come and support Advance City. Barrett is going to escape. He's beating Magellan and Hilly. Barrett, is it the Devil's Heir? Yes, that's him. Magellan and Hera couldn't stop him. The jailer beast has died a lot, Hannibal said anxiously. Boom. Sengoku slammed the table and gritted his teeth. How could the Devil's Heir Barrett suddenly run out of the 6th floor? What did Magellan and Hylias do with those two guys? Barrett was suppressed by the sea tower stone. How could it escape? Warring States, the most urgent task is to gather manpower and support the advance of the city. Otherwise, let the pirates of the advancing city run out, and the sea will become even more chaotic, Crane said calmly. Chapter 175. The Warring States calmed down a little and immediately went to war to make arrangements for mobilization. Carp hasn't arrived at the naval headquarters yet, so I'll let him go directly to support Advance City. You go and contact the Yellow Ape. Let him go and push into the city. That's right. And Peach Rabbit. She just left. Not far from Propulsion City. Let her go to support. We must not let the pirates escape from the Advance City, otherwise we will be sinners of the world. In addition to Peach Rabbit, Carp, and Yellow Ape, Sengoku also mobilized a navy near the city of Advance. Let them all go to support. This time the enemy is Barrett, the Devil's Heir. No matter how steady you are, you can't overdo it. That guy was a monster who had drawn with Riley at the age of 15. After the mobilization, Sengoku sat in a chair, thinking about the worst outcome in his mind. Warring States, don't be too nervous. Barrett is very strong as good, but he has been imprisoned in the 6th layer of the city of Advance for 20 years, and his strength has definitely declined. And how much combat strength he can maintain is still uncertain. Maybe he is just a strong middle, and there is not much real power left, the Crane said comfortingly. Sengoku relaxed slightly, and then he shook his head. Barrett can't be allowed to escape. He was only 22 years old when he was caught. The battle to capture Barrett, you know how tragic it was. Give him time and he will get stronger. So definitely not give him time to get stronger. Can't let him escape, Sengoku said firmly. The Crane groaned, recalling the battle 20 years ago. After Roger's death, the co-captain of Roger's pirate ship, Riley, the senior Carter Jabber, and others disappeared, and the Navy searched for a long time without finding it. Barrett is different. He makes a big fuss on the sea, turns the sea upside down. He not only attacks the Navy, but he also kills pirates. Because Barrett made too much trouble, the Navy opened the slaying order, led by the Warring States and naval hero Kapu, who was still a general at the time. After Barrett was exhausted, he was attacked by pirates, and was eventually arrested by the Navy and imprisoned in Advance City. The scale of that war was enormous. Whoever comes will be arrested. As strong as a Whitebeard, alone, in the face of the joint efforts of Carp and the Warring States, the siege of a large number of navies and pirates, it will not benefit. Barrett spent 20 years in the advance of the city. These 20 years are the most brilliant period of life, and without these 20 years, genius will also be reduced to waste. People's life expectancy is limited. The peak of the past is the past. Do not serve the old. But will Barrett turn into waste? The Crane hesitated. Barrett is in his 40s, still middle-aged, and has room to move forward, which is really troublesome. If he had escaped into the city in his 70s, there would have been no need to worry that he would have become stronger. On the sea, After receiving the news of the warring states, the dog-headed ships turned around and rushed to the city of Advance. When the General Huang Ape received the news, the G1 branch had just calmed down, and he had not yet come to an urgent rest. It's really bad. The criminals in the city escaped. The yellow ape scratched its head. He flew around today, and trouble ensued, which gave him a lot of headaches. The devil's heir had escaped and advanced into the city. Magellan, they're such a waste. The red dog snorted coldly. Magellan can't blame him. He doesn't know how Barrett escaped from the 6th floor. I don't know if he can survive until I arrive. The yellow ape turned into a flash of light and disappeared into the G1 branch. The red dog was furious and the lava spilled. Damnable pirate. Sooner or later there will be a day. I'll kill all the pirates. At this point, the advancing city was in chaos, and Barrett simply tested his strength before he began devouring pirates. Magellan, under the cover of the jailer beast, fled to the upper echelons. Hera was too badly injured to escape and became Barrett's prisoner. The jailer beasts were devoured by Barrett in half. When Barrett descends to the 5th floor, the pirates know what fear and despair are, and their desperate cries cannot escape. Monsters. The monster is coming. He's devouring us. Don't come here. I don't want to be devoured by monsters. Help. Magellan, save me. What about the managers of the city? Don't care about this monster. The managers of the city have all run. This monster has no way of balancing. He's too strong. 5th layer pirate. The 4th layer of pirates. The 3rd layer of pirates. Barrett pushed all the way, and anyone who stood in his way was defeated with a single punch. He didn't know how strong he was. The amount of domineering chi in his body expanded, endless, and he released the armed color, which could form a wave-like attack. Advancing to the upper floor of the city, Magellan retreated to the 1st floor with Hannibal, Sarudes, Domino and other managers of the Advance city, closed all the gates, and blocked all the pirates. When some pirates fled to the 1st floor of the city, they found that the gate was tightly closed, and there was no way to go up to the upper floor, and their hearts were grey, and they scolded Magellan. Administrator, what should we do? Domino worried. Wait for the support of the naval headquarters to arrive. Magellan said, this gate can't stop that monster. That monster is devouring the pirates. For a moment and a half, he couldn't get to the 1st floor. We wait with peace of mind. After the support of the naval headquarters arrives, they will attack together to capture Barrett. After this capture of Barrett, be sure to lock his whole body in the Shanghai stone. No. Seal him in ice. Let him sleep forever. Jimmy manager, you said a word. Barrett's trouble is too big. The world government blames it. They are all going to suffer. Thinking of this, several people were extremely angry. Hey, open the door. Cap is coming. A voice came, and the crowd was overjoyed. After confirming that it was Cap's dog-headed ship, he hurriedly opened the gate, and Magellan personally greeted Cap. Lieutenant General Cap, Barrett is gone. Please also suppress him. Magellan said straight to the point. Cap nodded and shook his fist. It just so happens that I just finished practicing boxing. Originally prepared to fight with the wings of nothingness, I didn't expect to become Barrett. It's okay. I was able to send Barrett into Advance City. Today, I can arrest Barrett again. Cap was very confident, and after he practiced boxing, he felt that his fists were harder. When you encounter the wings of nothingness, you can also knock it down. Capsn, I'm relieved to have you. Yellow flashes appeared, condensing into the form of a yellow ape. Cap glanced at the yellow ape. Who else but you? Such a big event, with the character of the warring states, will definitely not let the two of them come. And giant. The three of us. It was enough to suppress the advancing city. Cap muttered 2 words. Chapter 176. It's terrible, worthy of the hero Cap. The yellow ape said. He wasn't kidding. Cap was really strong. Without eating the devil fruit, pure physical type strongman, this kind of strong person has one thing in common, that is, there is no obvious weakness. It's hard to target them. Go inside and suppress Barrett. Cap waved a big hand. Don't you wait for General Peach Rabbit? Wait. The two of us went to stop Barrett first. The yellow ape saw the situation, and did not hesitate, and directly followed Cap into the room. Push open the door and you'll see countless pirates. There was no joy of escape on their faces, only endless fear. Cap was stunned, a little puzzled. Under normal circumstances, these pirates should not be happy to shout and shout. Why are they all afraid? Just when Cap was stunned, the pirates noticed Cap and the yellow ape and immediately asked for help from the two. Hero Cap, be a naval hero. Go and stop Barrett. Please. I don't run away. Just hope you can stop Barrett. Let me stay in the city. One of the pirates pleaded. I'm here to arrest Barrett. Cap said subconsciously. Immediately, he felt that something was wrong. Pirates asking him for help, a bit against the norm. What happened? Let you be so afraid? Cap asked. Barrett is devouring criminals. Already a large number of criminals have been devoured by him. Devouring? Barrett's demon fruit has no ability to devour it. Cap frowned. Yellow Ape General, you caught me. Do you remember? I'm Golden Beard. Bounty 150 million. That. You can't leave me alone. Barrett is going to devour me. You're going to protect me. A pirate with a golden beard said to the yellow ape. The corners of the yellow ape's mouth twitched. And he was responsible? What is your responsibility? He's the Navy. How can you be responsible for pirates? Lieutenant General Cap. This time we are in trouble. can make so many pirates afraid? Barrett's strength is not simple. The yellow ape looked serious. Carp also put away his smile and nodded. No matter how strong Barrett is, I'm going to arrest him again. Cap raised his fist, and the naval soldiers helped him push away the crowd of pirates. At this point, Barrett's state was seen by the two. Strange, what is this form of Barrett? I've never seen it before. Something is wrong, and I feel a strong sense of oppression from it. Could it be Barrett's ability to advance the city's new realizations? Carp looked at the yellow ape. The yellow ape's heart understood, and his fingers condensed and flashed. Laser. A golden laser shot out, piercing Barrett's tentacles. Barrett grinned and exploded with astonishing warlike intent. Finally, here it is. I've been waiting for a long time. Huge tentacles contracted, and the eerie and terrifying purple octopus disappeared. In the white smoke, Barrett slowly stepped out. Carp, long time no see. Barrett, you have committed a sin. Incredibly heavy, Carp said in a deep voice. The yellow ape elementalized and instantly appeared on Barrett's side. Devil's air. Have you ever been kicked at the speed of light again? The yellow ape said. Boom. The yellow ape kicked at Barrett's neck. Barrett moved to the left and the ground cracked. The yellow ape was surprised. This was the first time that someone had resisted his light speed kick, and it had not yet been knocked out. Speed sometimes represents strength. The faster the speed, the stronger the power. His speed does not have to be much. The see first. The kicks at this speed are incredibly powerful. Even if Carp is kicked, he will be kicked by a huge force. Barrett, on the other hand, only moved a few meters to the left. It's really a monster-like physique. You just protected your neck with armed colors. The yellow ape said decisively. Yes, this is the general of the new time. The strength level is not bad. Barrett's legs were forceful. The force exploded, and his body shot out like a cannonball. The yellow ape turned into a flash of light, but was grabbed by Barrett's ankle. Got you. Barrett smirked. His hands were wrapped in armed colors, and the elementalization of the yellow ape could not escape. Fist, punch, whack. The yellow ape flew backwards and slammed into the walls of the advancing city. Carp suddenly rushed behind Barrett and clenched his fists. Barrett, die. Punch bones. Barrett quickly turned around, his fist trapped around the armed color, and punched the iron fist cap. Bang. The fist roared, and the shockwave spread from the position of the two men against the fist. The ground cracked inch by inch, and some unlucky pirates were hit by the shockwave, and their bodies exploded into pieces. Pedal to pedal. Cap took a dozen steps back and looked at Barrett in disbelief. Your fist. Why is it so hard? Right. It's too hard. Harder than his. Barrett's fist surpassed him. The armed color has also reached an extremely frightening level. The surging color of the arms like an ocean is enough to make any enemy afraid. Carp's face was ugly, and this time there was big trouble. A demon is out. A demon more terrifying than the golden lion. Chapter 177. Barrett's domineering power is great, and Carp knows it. But it can't be that big. This amount. Carp is unheard of. Roger doesn't have such a terrifying domineering amount. Whitebeard and Golden Lion are all gone. Barrett also got stronger in advancing city. Carp had this thought in his mind. Terrible monster, if you let it out, I'm afraid there will be another sea emperor in the new world. Carp whispered. The yellow ape in the rubble elementalized and flew into the air, its hands flashing with golden light. Countless flashing bullets crashed into Barrett. He didn't care if the attack would destroy the advanced city. Barrett put a lot of pressure on him. Can't fight with your hands tied. Otherwise he would have lost today. Even death. Barrett's arm fired a large number of false bullets, colliding with flash bombs, and the explosions continued. Is the number of cuts and virtual bullets not comparable? Barrett snorted coldly. The flash projectile gradually suppressed Barrett's virtual bullet downwards. Barrett manipulates the armed color release to form a sphere that envelops itself. Bang. The flashing bullets slammed into the armed color, like bullets hitting steel, making a thumping sound. Good horrible domineering amount. Lieutenant General Carp, do you have so much domineering power? The yellow ape bombarded as he asked Carp. Carp shook his head coldly. This guy has more than Roger. The yellow ape was secretly relieved in his heart. Fortunately, such a monster was only Barrett's person, otherwise it would have been killed. He didn't want more monsters like that. Barrett, who was under the protection of the armed color, suddenly erupted, compressing the armed color and covering the whole body. Boom. Barrett's leg muscles exploded, the ground collapsed, and he rushed to the yellow ape with a flash of lightning like raindrops. Nice fruit ability. It's a pity to be eaten by you. Boom. Another punch. The yellow ape hurriedly dodged, but he was still hit in the shoulder. There was a cracking sound in his shoulder, and the sharp pain made the yellow ape grit its teeth. Bang. The yellow ape smashed heavily on the ground, smashed through the ground of the first layer, fell to the second floor, and smashed out a large pit that was not shallow. Sizzle tilde. The yellow ape gritted its teeth and inhaled the cool air. It hurts. He hadn't been so badly injured in a long time. Since he became a general, he has suffered at most minor injuries. The legendary pirates, it's terrible. Here, Carp and the yellow ape besiege Barrett. On the other side, Magellan led a group of naval soldiers to fight with the jailers and barrels of the advancing city. Somewhere on an island marked by Suyu, Gia and Redfield are grilling fish. Lord, regardless of Barrett, does it really matter? Can he alone play the propulsion city? Gia asked. During this time period, the Navy did not make a big move. The Yellow Ape and other generals could move, and after the problem of advancing the city, they would immediately launch support. Blackbeard was able to make a big fuss about the city because he had picked a good time. War on top. At that time, the 3 admirals of the Navy gathered at the naval headquarters. No strong man can support the advanced city. That's why Blackbeard succeeds. At other points in time, Blackbeard will be hammered to death. Blackbeard is very strong, but once the Yellow Ape arrives, with the super speed of the flash fruit, one person can contain all the pirates who want to escape. When the naval support arrived, Blackbeard could only be imprisoned in Advanced City. Suyu picked up the grilled fish and took a bite lightly. The taste is not bad. Don't worry about Barrett. That guy's abilities are not simple, and after enjoying the feast of Advancing City, no one can stop him. Even if he can't fight, he can escape. Redfield ate grilled fish and had a mixed heart. You can't eat grilled fish in Advanced City. The food every day is potatoes. He ate potatoes and vomited. Life is really short. I am old, and my combat strength has declined seriously. Redfield sighed. I'll give you time to look for the vampire fruit, and you know where that fruit is, so I don't need to tell you. Suyu said. Redfield was surprised and didn't understand how Suyu knew. Let the plus go with you. Where are you going, my lord? I'm going to Hydra Island. Something happened. Take a day off. Chapter 178. Redfield knew that Suyu arranged for Gia to follow him in search of the vampire fruit, and was not at ease with him. But he wasn't annoyed, because he didn't want to run away. Fighting alone does not work, and it is easy to be surrounded and arrested by the Navy. It is better to join the Suyu's command. Maybe it will last a long time. He didn't want to go back to the dark place of Push City. That's not where people stay. Daily water and food rations, the same, make people wear away their ambition and edges. Ollie's teeth were piled up in the corners, and the iron bars were so big that Ollie's smell could be smelled every moment. There were not many pirates imprisoned on the 6th floor of the advancing city, and the smell was mixed together, and it was particularly smelly. The jailer would clean up Ollie every 3 days. Those days were too cruel for an arrogant strong man like him. Nine Snake Island? What adults are talking about is Daughter Island, Redfield said. It seems to be called Daughter Island. Suyu nodded. Due to the large name of the 9 snake pirates, he subconsciously called his daughter island Hydra Island. Daughter Island is not far from here, and I'll be waiting for you to come back. Oh, Daughter Island. Blessed are the grown-ups, Gia said with an exaggerated expression. Daughter Island is all women. All the women on the island are warriors. All the people are soldiers, although the individual strength is not strong. But the number is considerable. The Navy wants to take Daughter Island, but also have to pay some price. This cost is that the low-level naval soldiers will be killed and injured, not the top Navy. Many of the women on Daughter Island have mastered the color of arms, and ordinary naval soldiers are not opponents at all, and elite naval soldiers must be required to fight. Of course, that's not what the Plus is thinking. But there are many women on Daughter Island, grabbing them, afraid that they will have to support the wall every day. The women on Daughter Island are limited by their physique, unable to master the high-level armed color domineering. It is difficult to produce strong people. Since my time, I have never heard of a strong person from Daughter Island. If you want to take the elite route, you will not be very rewarded to go to Daughter Island, Redfield said in a deep voice. Su Yufeng finished eating the grilled fish like a remnant of clouds, and said casually, I am not going to collect the crew, just a slave. Slaves? The One Piece Emperor would not agree. Heck, it didn't seem to matter if she disagreed or disagreed. The 7 Marshalseas under the king could not stop the adults at all. Gia said with a smile, Lord, if you slaughter the pirate female emperor again, I am afraid that the warring states will be angry to death. You alone slaughtered nearly half of the 7 Marshalseas under the king. In fact, there have been many voices within the Navy opposing the 7 Marshalseas under the king. The role of the 7 Marshalseas under the king was to assist the Navy in suppressing the chaotic sea, deter pirates. As a result, he was killed by the pirates one after another, which greatly reduced the prestige of the 7 Marshalseas under the king. When the world government first publicized the 7 Marshalseas, it pushed it to a very high level, claiming to be in harmony with the Navy and the Emperor of the Sea to balance the sea. Logically, the strength of the 7 Marshalseas under the king should not be much worse than that of the Sea Emperor and the Navy. Many naval soldiers think so. People around the world think the same way. However, the result was that the 7 Marshalseas under the king were like waste, and they were killed one after another. It is completely incomparable with the Emperor of the Sea. Since it is useless, what are they left to do? This is the voice of countless naval soldiers. Until the news of Suyu's defeat of Whitebeard and Kaido spread all over the world, it was only a slight change in the perception of the 7 Marshalseas under the Emperor and the people of the world. After all, they died at the hands of the world's strongest, and they deserved it. Whitebeards are not opponents, and they are certainly not opponents. Suyu laughed. The so-called 7 Marshalseas have only been pushed into that position by the world government. If you want to compare with the 4 emperors of the Navy, they are still far behind. Who are the strongest people in the 7 Marshalseas under the king? Hawkeye Hook counts as one. Big Bear has a special ability, which is half of it. Doflamingo is also half counted. Moonlight Warrior's strength is at the bottom, not a threat, and the Flying Six in the 100-Beast Pirate Regiment can defeat Moonlight Warrior by one person. The rustling fruit of crocodile is very strong, but it is a pity that it is not domineering and cannot become a climate. Hancock is known as the pirate female emperor. The warring states are jealous of it. The strength is quite okay, its shortcomings are also very large. Sees Hancock's shortcomings, it is easy to capture her. Sheeping belongs to the type of slow progress. He seems to have been getting stronger, but the speed of getting stronger is not large, and it is still in the normal category. Luffy's kind of getting stronger is not normal. Infinite sit-ups, too shameless. Give even time, and future achievements will not be low. Mariah and Crocodile are dead, and the Navy has yet to find a replacement for them. Overall, the strength of the 7 Marshal Seas was too poor. Let them unite against a single 4 Imperial regiment, and the winning rate will not be high. The garbage moths of the world government, who know nothing, are chaotic, and the 7 Marshal Sea system has not played role in suppressing the sea, but has encouraged the arrogance of the pirates. Jiaji shook his head, very contemptuous of the Draco and the 5 Old Stars. Is there a possibility that the 5 Old Stars are undercover? Suyu said suddenly. He had seen a blogger's speculation in a previous life. After learning that Luffy was a rubber fruit ability, the 5 Old Stars not only did not go to cut the grass and remove the roots, but instead let Luffy come chaotically, and even did not send the pursuing soldiers. Luffy showed a domineering color, and the 5 Old Stars did not move. Luffy defeated the 7 Marshal Seas, and the 5 Old Stars did not see it. Luffy hit the Draco and didn't succeed. Luffy released countless criminals in the city, and the 5 Old Stars ignored it and did not follow up, as if this matter had been revealed. Luffy became the 5th Emperor, and the 5 Old Stars did not move. It wasn't until Luffy woke up that the 5 Old Stars sent someone to stop it. Stupid, unbelievable. It feels like the 5 Old Stars are no different from those stupid Draco. Of course, this is just a joke, and it should not be true. Chapter 179. Jiaja was stunned. It is impossible. The 5 Old Stars are the supreme rulers of the world government. How can they be undercover? Joke. Suyu waved his hand. Next, Suyu bid farewell to Jiaja and Redfield and asked them to go in search of the vampire fruit. Suyu went to Daughter Island alone. Daughter Island. Mother-in-law, needless to say, no matter what kind of things the concubine does, she will be forgiven, because concubines are the most beautiful. Hancock leaned back, revealing the Shirakawa and the mountains. Hancock, you can't go on like this. Mother-in-law Gyurolioza yelled. Just now, Hancock threw the statue that the children had given her out of the window. When the mother-in-law saw this, she immediately began to persuade Hancock. Hancock disagreed, and the tragic experience of her childhood made her heart a little twisted. He hates men very much and hides his inner fragility with pride. Snap. Who? Hancock and his mother-in-law and their 2 younger sisters were alert and shouted. Not bad. The most beautiful woman in the world lives up to her name. Suyu slowly walked through the gate into the palace. How did you get here? Hancock asked. Walk in brightly. Suyu smiled. Soldiers. Where are the soldiers? The second sister shouted. She was very loud and far away, but there was no movement outside the door. The second sister and the third sister suddenly felt bad, picked up the weapon, and aimed it at Suyu. The moment Grandma saw Suyu, her pupils shrank sharply, and she subconsciously retreated. Yes. It's you. The mother-in-law said tremblingly. Who is he? Mother-in-law, you know? Hancock asked. Boom. My mother-in-law swallowed her saliva. How could this monster come to Daughter Island? How did he come to Daughter Island? Hancock saw that his mother-in-law was hesitant to speak, and his hands formed a heart shape. Sweet sweet wind. Love-type praise shootout. Good ability. Suyu flashed and easily dodged the love-type light. The purpose of his coming this time is Hancock, and naturally he has an overbearing heart for Hancock, and the sweet sweet wind has an effect on him. It's not that he can't stop this move, it's just that there's no need to resist. Hancock tried a few more points, but still failed to help Suyu. Suyu walked unhurriedly toward Hancock. Hancock's fingers touched his lips, forming a pink heart. Captive arrow can shoot a large number of pink arrows, and the target will be petrified whether it is touching Hancock or not. Unlike sweet sweet wind, the object that can be petrified by this trick can be non-biological. The mother-in-law reacted and hurriedly spoke out to stop Hancock. No. Hancock, don't do it. I can't do it. Mother-in-law. Why? He's an intruder. Why don't you let your sister petrify him? When a man sets foot on Daughter Island, he will be petrified. Hancock and the second and third sisters asked at the same time. No way. Hancock, you are not his opponent. Angered him. We're all going to die. The whole Daughter Island will be destroyed. The mother-in-law said in fear. You recognize me? Suyu looked at Grandma Zhao. Because Daughter Island excludes men, resulting in information blockage, many messages on the Sea Daughter Island are not known. The last time my mother-in-law showed Hancock the newspaper of Suyu, Hancock did not pay attention to it at all, and forgot about it early, resulting in her not recognizing Suyu. Mother-in-law, who the hell is he? Hancock asked again. Wings of Nothingness. The strongest man in the world. Even the Sea Emperor 100 Beasts Kaido was his subordinate. The 100 Beasts pirate regiment under his command is also known as the world's strongest and the most vicious pirate regiment. After the mother-in-law finished speaking, the second and third sisters were shocked. It turned out to be the strongest man in the world, still so young. Unbelievable. Hancock hesitated, seeing that Tsuyu was getting closer and closer to her. She grew disgust and hatred for men in her heart, and no longer hesitated, pulling away the pink glove. A large number of pink arrows shot at Tsuyu. Tsuyu's hands gathered light cyan energy, and the moonlight sword formed in his hands. With a gentle swing, all the pink arrows were consumed. Impossible. How could my attack be blocked so easily? Hancock was surprised. Up. Can't let him get close to his sister, the second sister said, transforming into a snake man form and rushing towards Tsuyu. Not to be outdone, the third sister stood in front of Hancock. Why bother? You are so weak that you can't stop me, Tsuyu said lightly. Bang! Tsuyu erupted with a tyrannical color, and a powerful overlord color descended on Daughter Island, covering the entire royal palace. Hancock's second sister and third sister gritted their teeth and did not want to fall, but with the strengthening of the overlord color, they could not resist, and the third sister took the lead in fainting. I'm sorry, sister. The second sister just finished speaking and fell down. My mother-in-law was not spared. At this time, only Hancock and Tsuyu were still standing in the entire palace. What do you want to do? Hancock, under pressure, said word by word. Her overlord color was not as good as Tsuyu, and she was suppressed by death and could not be cast. I want a slave, and I don't think you'll reject me, Tsuyu said with a smile. I don't know if he's joking. Chapter 180. Hancock's expression changed suddenly, his pupils shrunk into needles, and his heart shook. Do you know that? Wrong. Only a few people in this world know. He certainly didn't know. No one can threaten a concubine. There are no slaves on Daughter Island. Hancock clenched his silver teeth and pressed against the pressure, kicking Tsuyu across his thigh. Aromatic feat. The moment you kick an enemy, you can turn parts into stones and smash them to pieces. This move can not only work on people, weapons, steel, knives and guns can all work. Even if you don't have a crush on her, you will be petrified. Tsuyu jumped up and dodged Hancock's fragrant feet. Sweet fruit is a good match for you. This fruit ability has been developed very well by you. No wonder even the warring states are a little jealous of you, Tsuyu said lightly. Of course, it is only jealousy. With the strength of the Navy, it was easy to suppress Hancock. Any one of the 3 admirals of the Navy can destroy Daughter Island. If Hancock exercises more and strengthens his strength will be much stronger than it is now. There are many people in the pirate world who are talented, but it is a pity that they waste their talents without training. Hancock became the 7 Marshalseas when she was 18, which shows how talented she is. The author checked that it was indeed 18 to 19 years old, and became the 7 Marshalseas, closing parenthesis. Man, what are you doing here? Daughter Island is not welcome. Hancock attacked one after another, and each of her attacks was easily dodged by Tsuyu. Tsuyu's relaxed appearance, as if he was playing Hancock, made Hancock very annoyed. Use it for me, Female Emperor Hancock. Tsuyu held out his hand. Hancock snorted coldly, forcibly broke into Daughter Island, entered the palace and fought hard. Still want me to be your subordinate? I am the 7 Marshalseas. Don't think of me as a normal pirate. The tone is really poor, and the tragic experience of being young makes you hate men, but it is understandable. Hancock subconsciously stepped back. You know what? What nonsense are you talking about? Nonsense? Tsuyu smiled and flashed in front of Hancock, grabbing the button on her abdomen with his large hand. As soon as this button is taken, Hancock's red shirt will fall off. No. Hancock's eyes widened, and his white and slender arms resisted Tsuyu. Syllable. Tsuyu grabbed Hancock's arm and easily buckled it, and the other hand quickly removed the button. No. Yes. Hancock shrunk into a ball, like a frightened little rabbit, trembling. I know that you have the seal of the heavenly dragon's hoof on your back, Tsuyu said. No. I didn't. I don't have the celestial dragon's hoof mark. Hancock shook his head hurriedly. Tsuyu rubbed his chin. He came to find the female emperor this time. In fact, there was no big goal. The first is to see the first beauty in the pirate world. The second is that Hancock's weaknesses are obvious. Mastering Hancock's weaknesses, you can easily grasp Hancock. Let Hancock do anything. If you want to do the second one, you need to have a certain strength yourself, at least close to Hancock. Tsuyu is this strength. Not close to Hancock's strength. It's far beyond Hancock. Do you want to use it for me? Hancock? Tsuyu asked again. No, I don't want to. Hancock again rejected Tsuyu. Tsuyu was stunned. What happened? Hancock's weakness was exposed by him, and he rejected him. Did this Hancock overcome this weakness? I don't want to live that kind of life anymore. Absolutely not. Hancock said in horror. Tsuyu suddenly realized that Hancock had misunderstood what he meant. What he said was for my use, to solicit Hancock, not to make Hancock a slave. However, it is also a beautiful thing to take Hancock, the world's first beautiful woman, as a slave. Tsuyu fell into thought. Hancock swallowed and clutched his clothes tightly, afraid of exposing the hooves of the celestial dragon on his back. It was a shame for her life, indelible shame. Once the hooves of the heavenly dragon were carved, they could not be erased. Hancock tried many ways, but failed to erase the hooves of the celestial dragon. Not only her, but also the slaves on the sea who escaped Mary Joya could not be erased. Hancock recalled that when he was a child, when he was a slave to the Draco would beat them every day, and when they were happy, they would take a whip and beat them with a wooden stick when they were unhappy. Sometimes, the Draco people will let her perform a show, not a dance and singing show, but a fight with adults, fight the beasts. Sometimes he used her to practice marksmanship. The Draco took a pistol and shot it. She kept dodging, and if she was shot, she would be executed, and if she was not shot, she would be beaten by the Draco. Exactly 4 years. She lived that kind of life for 4 years. If it weren't for the protection of her sister, she would have been unable to withstand the pressure and committed suicide early. Slaves committing suicide will implicate relatives and friends, and the Draco will send soldiers to carry out the Great Purge. She committed suicide and her sister would be implicated. Chapter 181. Suyu looked at the trembling Hancock and was silent. The famous king of the Seven Martial Seas, the pirate woman Emperor Hancock, would have this side. If the pirates outside knew, I am afraid that I would be shocked to drop my jaw. Hancock hated the Draco and feared the Draco. The impression left by the Draco was hard to erase. She appeared as a tyrant to hide her fears, afraid that others would know that she had been a slave. Hancock, I have a way to erase the celestial dragon's hoof mark on your back. As a price, you have to be my man. Suyu is not one of those who prides himself on righteousness. He is a pirate in the eyes of the world. No matter what he does, he cannot change the fact that he is a pirate. So he wouldn't pursue Hancock like a dog licker. Ordinary sweet love. That's not for Suyu. Really? Hancock would be suspicious. She had tried so many ways that she had not been able to erase the mark of shame. Does Suyu really have a way? She knew that Suyu was very strong, but strong strength did not mean that she could do everything. Of course it's true. The corners of Suyu's mouth rose. What do you want to do? Hours later, mother-in-law and Hancock's 2 younger sisters wake up, and the first thing they do when they wake up is to look for Hancock's traces. Hancock, where are you? Sister, damn. Did the wings of nothingness kidnap my sister? The mother-in-law and the 2 sisters did not find any trace of Hancock in the palace, and they were very panicked. Walking out of the palace, he found the guarding soldiers still in a coma. Large pieces of the guards fell to the ground like crushed wheat. Wings of nothingness. The second sister gritted her teeth and said viciously, one man broke into Daughter Island alone and kidnapped Hancock for them. This is an unforgivable shame. Calm, we will not be the opponent of the wings of nothingness, and you should also experience everything when you fight with the wings of nothingness. The power of the wings of nothingness is beyond our enemy, mother-in-law said in a deep voice. So what to do? Do we do nothing? Let the wings of nothingness take away her sister? The third sister couldn't help but interject. Patience, we are not opponents of the wings of nothingness, and to save Hancock, we must seek foreign assistance. My mother-in-law said it, but she was not sure in her heart. After all, the enemy is the strongest man, and even the Emperor of the Sea is his subordinate. The 9 snake pirates are strong, but they are not opponents against the Sea Emperor Kaido. Not to mention the wings of nothingness. Oh, it's trouble. Grandma sighed. Suddenly, the second sister's ears moved, spit out snake letters, and stared at the flowers on the left side. Who's there? Come out. The second sister shouted. It's me. A crisp and pleasant sound came out, and several people were stunned. Sister? Hancock, are you okay? The 3 asked at the same time. Hancock held the tree in one hand and silently wiped the marks at the corner of his mouth. I'm fine, don't be nervous. Sister, you're all right. The wings of nothingness didn't do anything to you. Hancock froze and said very reluctantly, no, I had a fight with him, and then he withdrew on his own. Second sister, she wouldn't have seen anything, would she? Hancock was flustered. The second sister saw that Hancock was pale, holding the tree with one hand, and his arm was still shaking slightly, and he was extremely worried. Sister, I'll help you back. With that, the second sister walked forward. Don't come here, Hancock shouted. The second sister was startled and wondered, Sister, what's wrong? Didn't the wings of nothingness go hidden in the dark? No. The wings of nothingness are gone, and I'm a little too depleted to have the strength. Don't come over first. It's not good to be seen, Hancock whispered. The second sister suddenly realized that Hancock was talking about the hoof mark of the heavenly dragon. This mark of shame is Hancock's nightmare and will never be seen by outsiders. Just after the battle, Hancock's red clothes were gone, and if he came out like this, he would indeed see the hoof mark of the heavenly dragon. Sister is fine. Third sister, you go and prepare clothes and hot water for your sister. Mother-in-law, please organize the soldiers. Don't let them get close to here. The third sister obediently went to get clothes for Hancock. The mother-in-law looked at Hancock strangely. She always felt that Hancock's state was not right, but what was wrong, she could not say. In other words, the woman outside, seeing Hancock's appearance, it is easy to guess the truth. Unfortunately, my mother-in-law has been single all her life, and she has not even had offspring. How can she understand this? Hancock noticed a look in his mother-in-law's eyes and his heart tightened. When the mother-in-law and the third sister left, the second sister faithfully stood in front, and Hancock was relieved. Damn, so much blood was shed. Next time you must bleed too. I don't believe it. The continuous battle is 3 days and 3 nights, and it can't make you bleed. Even if you're the strongest in the world. I am also the 7 Marshalseas. One Piece Lady Emperor. Hancock muttered reluctantly, upset that he had fallen into the inferior position. Chapter 182, Advance the City. Barrett fights Carp and the Yellow Ape alone, and his strong physique makes it difficult for Carp and the Yellow Ape to break through. Even if the defense was broken, Barrett continued to fight and continued to swing his fists as if nothing had happened. Like a monster with infinite physical strength. Tricky monsters, whether domineering or physical, have reached an unimaginable level. Carp's arm trembled slightly. After 2 hours of punching Barrett, he couldn't hold back anymore. The physical strength was destroyed by Barrett. On the other hand, Barrett is still full of physical strength, full of war, and the Vietnam War is getting stronger. During the battle, Carp discovers a surprising fact. Barrett is improving. It is not the body that is improving, but the domineering quality that is improving. Barrett's domineering power is incomparably large, but in terms of quality, Carp can say that the armed color is higher than Barrett. But as the battle continues, Barrett's domineering qualities improve and he keeps getting closer. May go beyond at any time. This makes Carp feel very tricky. Not only Carp, but also the Yellow Ape discover this amazing thing. His flash hit Barrett and it was difficult to deal effective damage. Barrett was wrapped in armed colors, fighting for so long, and the armed colors had not yet bottomed out. This number is really amazing, incredible. Suddenly, Barrett seemed to sense something. Little ones, fall back. Barrett exhaled. The evil prince, the Crescent Hunter and other sea thieves were relieved. Barrett's strength they've seen, monopolizing Carp and the Yellow Ape without losing. Too powerful. With such bosses, they are also convinced. But they could not stop the Navy and the administrators of the advancing city, led by Magellan. Magellan in particular. In this small place, Magellan's toxin is simply insoluble. After getting contaminated, I screamed in pain. Ha ha ha. Garbage Navy. You won't be able to catch us. Next time directly send the 3 admirals of the Navy. The evil prince sneered. Criminal. I will definitely arrest you. Re-imprisoned in infinite hell. Magellan muffled. If he hadn't been injured in the previous battle with Barrett, he could have suppressed the evil king and others steadily. Cut. Barrett boss is invincible. Go. Break through with boss Barrett. Stop. Where is her? What have you done to her? Magellan yelled. At this time, her had not yet been imprisoned by Magellan. The two cooperated, claiming to advance the iron wall of the city, and no one could break through the iron wall composed of the two of them. Oh he is an interesting person. The Crescent Hunter laughed. Barrett punched the flying Yellow Ape like a wild bull, and rushed out of the underground level of the city and came to the ground floor. In the distance, you can see the naval ships on the shore. Not bad. Yellow Ape, stop him. Carp shouted. The corners of the Yellow Ape's mouth twitched, causing him to stop the monster. He can't do it. The monster was like an alloy hard block, rampage, and his flash could not be stopped. Light speed kick. The Yellow Ape flashed to Barrett's side and kicked out. Barrett resisted the Yellow Ape hard, took a few steps back, and his fist shot out like a cannonball, and the Yellow Ape swung the Heavenly Cloud Sword. After a few punches, the Heavenly Cloud Sword was shattered. The Yellow Ape's arm shook and spilled blood. You can't escape. The Yellow Ape snorted coldly. Several members of the evil ruler quickly came and stood behind Barrett. Boss, are we robbing the Navy's ship? The evil prince asked. Of course. We're not just going to grab the ships of the Navy. It's even more about grabbing Carp's dog-headed boat. Barrett's eyes widened, and a terrifying armed color erupted. Armed color release. Like a tidal wave of armed color impact, the Yellow Ape did not dare to hard connect. Had to dodge. Carp tried to break the armed color tide and punched down with all his strength, but the armed color tide was only missing a piece. Barrett gave the evil lord a look, and the evil lord instantly understood, and ran with the others to steal Cap's dog-headed ship. The oversized battleship was too large to escape the advance city. Magellan unleashed a large amount of venom, which spilled on the oversized battleship, causing it to be miserable and its speed plummeted. For this waste, Barrett was ready to give up. Even if he takes in his subordinates, he must also collect powerful subordinates. You can't escape the garbage that advances the city, and it is useless to ask for it. Barrett continues his battle with Cap's Yellow Ape. Give the evil kings their stalls. When the dog-headed ship started, Carp realized Barrett's crazy move. You dare to steal my ship? Carp was shocked. Who is he? Naval heroes. Arrest Roger. One Piece's legendary sailors. His dog-headed ships have frightened countless pirates on the sea. Barrett wants to snatch his dog-headed boat away. How bold. Ha ha ha. That's my boat from now on. See you in the future. Naval heroes. Carp, see you again next time. I will get stronger. Defeat both of you completely. Barrett grinned. He absorbed many pirates, got their memories, but did not have time to sort them out. Domineering is also in a state of chaos and cannot be mobilized perfectly. Wait until he has integrated the power he has. Will definitely keep up with the next floor. Have more power. With that, Barrett jumped into the sea. Stuncap and the yellow ape. Isn't Barrett an adept? Is he committing suicide by jumping into the sea? The yellow ape said in surprise. No. Barrett is not an ordinary person, and he cannot be treated with common sense. Maybe he has the ability to survive under the sea. Yellow ape, you attack this sea. After that I jumped into the sea and chased him. Carp said in a deep voice. It's a lot of trouble. The yellow ape flew high into the sky, the light shone brightly, and countless flashing bullets fired in a salvo, covering a large area of the sea, and the attack range was extremely wide. If the flash bomb did not land in the sea, but landed in a certain kingdom, it was enough to destroy a large number of buildings in that kingdom and kill countless people. Barrett in the water sneered, dodging all the flash bombs. His Esper species resembled a large octopus. Although it is not a water attribute, it will not affect the combat effectiveness in the water, and the parade speed is very fast. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. And join my Patreon if you want to support me, link in the description. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.